Nope. Alright. I'm tired. Again. That's nothing that I can't help with some drugs. Some drugs. Caffeine being one of them. It's rejuvenating. What up, Nona? What up, Shakona? What's up, Gun? What's up, William? Welcome in, everybody. Hello. Hope you guys are doing good today. Gaming Catboy, Agent, Dimension, welcome in. Happy Monday, everybody. What's up, Riri? What's up, Samuel L. Jackson? How you doing, bro? What's up, Cat? What's good? Just chilling. How are we doing today? Are you out of tank tops? Never out of tank tops. Got an unlimited supply of them. Gotta show off the guns. How we doing, guys? Do I eat Takis? No. I eat a Sprouts version of it. I eat a Sprouts version. You know, the grocery store. What's up, Trey? How you doing, bro? Chilling. How's your day been? How's everybody doing today? You live in a legal state, bro? Illegal for what? Marijuana? I sure do. California, I don't smoke though. What's up, Corpse? Anyways, chat. So I thought to myself, I usually don't ever, honestly, for years now, I don't play the day before the new season. There's no point. It's like there's so much excitement, even during times of trash updates. You'd still get excited. At least, you know, this trash season is going to get replaced by another trash season, but at least that other trash season is a new one nonetheless. So there's always some level of excitement there. Trig, well, that's what today's going to be about. What up, Christian? So, reunion was great. Honestly, I got a little way too lit, bro. I'm not going to lie. Super lit. Ended the night early. Unfortunate. Is what it is. Shout out to my 10-year reunion. All the old things were like, oh my gosh, Scrappy, like, you look so good. I love your style. Oh my god, look at you. They're gassing me up, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like attention like that. I was like, all right, chill out. It's either you want me or not. Enough with the compliments, because I don't know what I don't know what your intention is. Are you saying it because you want me, or are you saying it because you're lying to me? Either way, it was fun. So out of bounds. Anyway, so today I don't play the day before the new season. Too much excitement, especially with the amount of changes they're making next season to play. I think it's Broken Moon right now, right? What's up, Sonic? What's up, Out of Bounds? What up, Birdie? Welcome in. What up, William? What up, Christian? There, you couldn't pay me enough to play today. So, what we're going to do is I'll probably go over the patch notes and discuss stats. I usually do that the day of, but the day of we'll experiment with some of the new things in the firing range, like we usually do, before we get started with the Bangalore Bronze and Masters. I think there's a lot to love about this new update, but as always, you never know how it's going to affect the game. There could be things that have been horrible, that seemed horrible, but once implemented into the game, you know, it wasn't that bad. And then the converse is also true. There are things that may seem really good or really powerful, but are honestly pretty dog water. Did I already use that one? You know what I meant. The opposite of whatever I just said. This is, for me, this is the first season in a long time where I felt like they're putting in effort. Good effort or bad effort. Nonetheless, effort. Again, we won't know until tomorrow. And to be honest, I'll be able to get a feel for it because I played the game for so long, so I can kind of make these predictions and assumptions early on, but nobody will really know how the season pans out for the first week or two. The biggest thing was the after this I have some clips of mine that we're going to watch. And I'll analyze that and coach that. I think that was easier than asking for you guys to give me clips and whatnot. Again, I wasn't going to stream it all today, so this is how I'm going to stream today. And you guys are going to love it, or you're going to hate it, or you're going to You're going to do both to it. I don't care. Tomorrow should be on at 10 o'clock, though, as soon as the new season drops. More than likely. More than likely. What up, Cheesecake? What up, Liquid? Well, the matchmaking changes have already been sorted out. They've already launched the matchmaking changes last season. Last week. It's been the same every day, and obviously that'll carry on into tomorrow and into future seasons as well. So the matchmaking situation is amazing already. I'm assuming it's 10 a.m.? Yeah. That's since I live in California, we get the season access the earliest, damn near. So 10 a.m. East Coast gets it at 1. Central gets it at 12. Europe has to wait until like fucking, what is it? Like 8 p.m. or something. And the rest of the world just has to wait until the next day. Is it 6 p.m.? Yeah, that sucks. It's always been 10. I've always gotten lucky living in California. First, every season that has ever come out has been on Tuesday. 10 a.m. PST since day one. For the last 6 years, I've gotten blessed. It doesn't make a difference, time is all relative. So it's like, the thing that sucks is that you guys have to go through your whole fucking day in Europe in anticipation and then get on at night. Whereas I could wake up 10 o'clock, get on. So that was always cool. But that's time zones for you. Either way, like I said, I have some clips I want to go over from the Watson and Sparrow Bronze and Master, just gameplay. We'll analyze that, commentate, and you guys can ask questions. It'll be pretty in-depth. Don't ask me to play Apex today because I'm not going to. What's up, Liquid? What up, Master? What's up, Gaming? Is it 5 p.m. for you? Well, I guess, yeah, well, there's different areas. There's different European time zones. The one that I've always known is like 7 hours ahead of me. I don't know if that's England or not. But I got a lot of British friends, and usually but I'm sure they probably have different time zones in England as well. But usually it would be like 12 o'clock for me, 8 o'clock for my European friends, wherever they live generally. I don't know what time zone that would be, though. What up, Ethan? Thank you for the stuff. How you doing, bro? How was your late night drive? Did you go on it already? We've already talked about a lot of these. I think we'll start off with the biggest one that people are upset about. Again, all these data miners and leakers put out all this information, and sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. And so you can never really truly know what's going to be implemented until you get the patch notes. The main thing being is because, what up, Heshawn's good. How you doing, bro? How's school? The main thing is that the leakers said that there was going to be a hard kill cap, essentially, which theoretically would have been a positive thing to place into our game, because it's going to, that change alone, in addition to placement being worth more, it's going to do a complete 180 shift from how people are playing the game now until how people are supposed to play and are forced to play next season. There's no kill cap. We have a kill cap right now. You guys can quote me if I'm right or wrong. It's like 6 or 5, 7, one of those. And then every kill you get after that is a 50% reduction. So we still have a kill cap, technically. But there used to be hard kill caps back in the day. Game, they're all in the same? Okay, what up, Master? Grind Pred? No, I'm doing my solo queue series. What was I talking about? I'm fried. What up, Jorge? Stressful will be up? Good. Good to see you got some time, some breaks, some study breaks. What was I just talking about? Complete 180 shift. We have a kill cap right now. But there used to be hard kill caps. The hardest one was like 5 back in the day before. It used to be 5 kill cap, either assists or kills way back in the day. So you could have a 20 bomb and you could have 14 assists. 5 of them only count. You didn't get any reduction in points after that, just 0 for everything else. Season 13 was kind of the same. I think the kill cap was around 6 or something. I forget. I think they throttled the points that you got for kills after the fact, kind of like something similar to what we have now, but I can't remember, so long ago. But that needs to be in conjunction with more placement points, right? If you have more placement points while also simultaneously having a kill cap of some sort, something harder than what we have now, that's going to completely shift the playstyle of everybody 180 degrees towards something similar like Season 13, towards something similar to how the game's supposed to be played. But the kill cap is not implemented. So you saw a lot of people, some pro players on Twitter, complaining about that. But I think they're being, like usual, not just pro players, but anybody on the internet, being a little too emotional. Everybody's so emotionally charged. I think if we just calm ourselves down and we take a look at the entire big picture of these patch notes, we should still see that 180 shift. Maybe not to the extent like Season 13, but a shift in the positive direction nonetheless. And where's all the rank stuff? There we go. So you see here, entry cost, placement, RP, they made changes to everything. The drop zones, so you're going to be given a drop zone, but you still have the opportunity to land at a neighboring POI if that's what you choose to do. You're not set on going to that specific POI. Based on the altitude that you're landing from, you'll have an opportunity to go to a close POI, close by POI. But it won't be like how it's been for the last 6 years, obviously, with a dropship where anybody, you have 5, 10, 15 teams landing at the same POI. That's no longer a thing, which is good again. So that change in and of itself, again, a lot of people are mad about. We'll go down to the bottom. I think that's where the point breakdown is. Yeah, right here. A lot of people are upset because there's no kill cap, but we have to think about all the changes that they're implementing into the game, and we should still see the same positive effects that we're hoping to see when it comes to ranked. And what I mean by that is a slower play style that's more methodical, more strategic, and something that aligns properly with how the game is supposed to be played. And so the first big change is we have the dropship. The dropship has been chaotic over especially recently. When you're solo queuing, I've complained about it a lot this season. What up, Katie? How you doing, bro? Your drop matters incredibly, and when you're solo queuing, it affects you as a solo queuer more than the 3 stackers, like everything else does, because you have idiot teammates that might not be paying attention, that might take you to some random no-name POI with no loot, that might take you to a POI with 4 teams and they're landing on all top of them, while I'm the only one landing safely within that POI. And so it screws your game over from the beginning. And that right there is one aspect of solo queuing that arguably makes it so difficult, is how your teammates drop. So you no longer have to worry about that. All the loot is kind of evenly spread out throughout the map. There's no more hot zones, they said. So, if somebody's landing at Cap City, or I guess we don't have worlds yet, so if somebody's landing at fucking Pylon, and you're landing in some smaller POI like Jurassic or something, if that's even a place you could land, the loot should be evenly dispersed. So one team's not going to have the advantage of getting a hot zone while you are stuck looting scraps. So they even that out. That change alone is going to do exactly what we're hoping, because you won't have 5, 6 teams landing in the same POI, killing each other off rip. So by the time first round closes, you only have 10 squads left. You can still land on... What's up, Eliana? What up, lover? You can still land on another team in a neighboring POI, but that's probably only going to be, maybe 2 teams most doing that. That's not going to be something that's common. And even if that is, even if everybody lands at some other person's POI, and at max you only have 2 teams landing at each POI, the game will still last a little longer. Again, there's some POIs, obviously, that like Cap City, Lava Siphon, or other places like Estates, where you have like 5 teams going there and they all kill each other off rip. Okay, I just listened to that song today and so like, working, ain't you? What up, Jay? I didn't know you had a PC. What up, Sugars? What up, No Life? So that change alone should slow down the pace in which everybody kills each other, and should lead to more teams staying alive longer in the game. But we also needed placement changes, right? Right now you get, I think it's like 100 points for first place. But if you're in Masters or Pred, you're taking negative 90 for your entry costs. So you're only netting positive 10 points for placement. They changed it. They increased the placement points, but not by much. Only by 5. 10 at 6th place, and I don't know if anything else has changed. They only put 2nd, 3rd, 6th, so I don't know if it follows the same pattern or if it's just these ranks or these placement values that are changed. But I wanted to see more personally. The more points you award somebody for placement, the more you incentivize the player base to get to that place. It was good, Jay. I got super drunk. Bro. A little too drunk. The kill points, so kills are worth a little less now, as you can see here. I don't really understand this. I'm assuming if you're in first place, each kill you get is worth 20 points, which used to be 26, so on and so forth. So we do see an increase in placement, and we do see a decrease in kills. I just would have liked to see a larger increase and a larger decrease here. Maybe 5 extra, 10 extra for placement, 20 extra from placement on top of what they already did, and then 5 extra from here. I don't think kills should be that much. Those are just arbitrary numbers, though. I wouldn't know how that would play out. Entry cost is different now, so entry cost costs more. So if you're in gold, you're taking negative 38 instead of 35. Platinum, negative 48 instead of negative 45. And bronze, you're taking 10 as opposed to no entry cost. Let's see. So again, we had a lot of people complain about no kill cap, but I can assure you that we should still see the playstyle that we're hoping to see based on the drop zone changes and also based on the heat shields. The removal of heat shields, I think, should be huge. New season tomorrow, yeah. What up, Queen? What's up, Nakari? How you doing? I'll give you that free one-on-one. Exclusive. How you doing? I didn't even know you play the game anymore. Are you gonna try it next season? So the removal of heat shields is great. I've been asking for that for years now because I think it's just I think the heat shield in ranked at least has produced poorer outcomes than more desirable ones. You're asking the car, I am too. I'm Wash Say, so we're perfect. I'll help you out. What up, Brian? What's up, KD? What up, Sushi? Play linear. Linear, you're always going to have stick drift on a new controller or not. It's not stick drift. You buy a brand new controller, you know it's not stick drift because if you put it on classic response curve, your stick isn't moving at all. But with linear, where it's raw input completely, there's nothing else assisting or there's no computerized assistance in your response curve. It's just, I don't know how to explain it, but linear is always going to cause your stick to drift. But it's not a controller issue. That's just linear. You go buy a brand new controller right now, tomorrow, and play on it on linear. You're going to have a drift. You get used to it. There's not one person, pro player. Most pro players use linear. There's not one pro player that doesn't have stick drift. They all get used to it. I think I even saw a video of Hal where he's just like, you just got to stop being a bitch, pretty much. That's literally, I think it was a video. He literally, I don't know if he said the word bitch, but he pretty much said stop bitching. That's linear. It's like riding a bike without training wheels. It's going to be a little bit more difficult, but you have a lot more freedom. And so that's something you're just going to have to get used to. Let's see. But the removal of heat shields is great. Round 1, round 2, I'm still worried, though, because round 1 and round 2, you could easily survive those zones without any heat shields. But it's the later rounds, round 3, round 4, round 5, where you really don't want to be in the storm at all without heat shields. So that's going to, again, force people to play more within zone as opposed to hanging without zone. And we know there's been plenty of times where I've been in round 3, storm, 100 meters deep into it, doing stuff that you really shouldn't be doing. But because I play Loba, because I have heat shields, because I have med kits, I'm able to finesse deep into round 3 and round 4 zone and not have to worry about it because of heat shields. Now that I don't have that, nobody has that opportunity to really sit in those zones anymore. But round 1, round 2, you could easily be in zones. So I think the rank changes are good overall. I would have liked to see more points for placement and less points for kills, but again, we'll just have to see how it plays out. I'm not really tripping about the modes. I think this wild card mode seems cool. They said it was supposed to be permanent. At least I swear I saw that it was permanent. But now it's only there for like 13 days, 2 weeks. So it's not permanent. I probably won't be playing it, although it does seem cool. Maybe it does continue on right here. But it ends September 15th. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Sushi, if you put on small dead zone while in linear, you're kind of playing classic. There's no point. Not quite. I don't know the exact values for each one, but with dead zone, you're kind of taking away the effects of linear that benefit you. The high school reunion was good, bro. I got hella lit. Stupid lit. How you feel about the amps? I don't like stuff like that, personally. It goes against my philosophy. That's that cute shit that Apex always tries to do that always ends up being more overpowered and annoying to fight against than something that's healthily beneficial to everybody. I haven't really looked into it, though. Are amps something that you pick up, or are you automatically granted them? Where are they? Alright, we gotta be up here. What up, Mo? How you doing? Where are the amps, brother? We're gonna do some coaching later. I have some gameplay to look over in a little bit. I'm not playing. I wasn't supposed to be on today anyways, but I figure I could do this. Although I'm hella tired, so don't ask me to play Apex today. Elion, you subbed me. Thank you. What up, Orex? Amps are replacing helmets. Well, we don't have helmets right now, so they're filling that spot. Amps. How do you acquire them? You have to. They spawn within bins. What up, Blank? Yeah, but Classic has built-in dead zone into it. Linear doesn't. So to add dead zone to linear makes it something closer to Classic, which defeats the purpose of it. There are some pro players that use linear in small dead zone. If I'm not mistaken, Verhulst does, or at least used to at one point. It's just all preference. I can't stand small dead zone on linear. It doesn't feel good for me. So there's no more red or gold helmets. How do you get these? For 400 damage, somebody says, but I'm not seeing anything that says you get them through damage. You can get them out of hot zones, vaults, care package. You have to pick them up? No, nothing to support or Loba. Thank you, Eliana. It's okay, you get that money back. Conduit just got buffed last season. Or this season. Sushi, trust me, bro. It took me probably a few months to get used to linear after playing Classic for 3 years. You get hop-ups on guns through damage. Not hop-ups. I'm talking about amps. So you pick amps up off the ground. Through bins, vaults, care packages, hot zones. And there's 5 of them. Infinite ammo. Bottomless batteries. Over armor. Heal overflow. Power booster. You can only pick up 1. And don't they take up 2 backpack slots or something? Yeah. 2 inventory slots. The bang, we'll get into that in a second. Yeah, somebody asked me about amps. I don't know how I feel. That's something we're just going to have to feel out. There's obviously going to be one that I feel like that stands out the most. Infinite ammo, I feel like, is solid to never have to worry about looting for ammo. I think that's important. I think maybe having unlimited batteries might be more important than infinite ammo. Far more important, I think. Over armor, gain an additional 25 shield. I mean, obviously that's important to be on blue armor, but to have purple. Honestly, I think I'd still pick bottomless batteries out of those three right now. You have heal overflow, so after using cells or syringes, your health will automatically regen. I think that one's pretty big. What up, Jawari? Thank you, bro. I'm not playing tonight. I'll be live tomorrow for the new season. Power booster amp reduces cooldown for tactical and ultimate. Obviously, a reduction in cooldown is beneficial, but I feel like right now for me, I'd probably gravitate towards bottomless batteries or heal overflow. Healing. Benefits to your healing, I think, is the most important. To be able to pop one cell and one syringe, as long as you're not taking damage, I'm assuming, to have it passively regen your entire health, so you don't have to stay in one place for 10 seconds, pop in a Phoenix, or pop in a battery for 5 seconds, and then pop in a med kit for 8, so 13 seconds total to get fully healed up. To be able to pop one cell and one syringe, so you don't need as many heals. And so instead of staying put, you can actively rotate if you're in a fight or trying to do whatever while getting passively healed. I think that's huge. And then bottomless batteries. Obviously, batteries are your first line of defense for healing. To be able to have an unlimited amount, especially towards endgame when you might not have a lot, especially if the games end up being played out sweaty, so you can't take fights that often, so therefore you can't loot. Obviously, at some point, it'll become hard to find batteries. To be able to have an unlimited amount of that, I think, is important. Riggs is on Play Apex Twitter. JT, thank you for 43. Sheesh. So we'll see. We'll see how those play out tomorrow. No changes to the Devo, I don't think. I'm not gonna lie though. The Devo's still exactly the same Devo that we saw earlier this season when everybody was picking it up. But after they nerfed Ballistic, I've noticed less players using the Devo. Like, significantly. The changes to Caustic, we've had Caustic metas before. They're always very annoying. Which brings in Bangalore. I think, theoretically, with all of these changes that they're implementing, the removal of heat shields, less points for kills, more points for placement, the drop ship, I think that's going to slow down the pace of the game. And if it does do that, then that's going to mean more people are going to be alive longer in the game, which is going to lead to sweatier endgames that are filled with more people. And if that's the case, then you're going to have a lot more people playing in zone, as you're supposed to. And you'll have a lot more people running controller legends like Caustic or Watson or whoever. And I think the reason why they're making these changes for Bangalore is that if these changes are correct and they do what they're supposed to do and they truly do change the playstyle of the game, what up, Melina, how you doing? Then Bangalore is going to act as a perfect counter to all controller legends. And it might seem annoying to have to fight against that, but also you have to think about how more annoying it would be to push a Caustic with how strong he is right now, or a Watson on E-District where everybody's in a building. Those buildings would be damn near impossible to push into, and so Bangalore is going to make it a little easier to breach these controller buildings so that the fights don't take too long. So we'll see how it plays. I think she's going to be very powerful, Bangalore. I know she'll be hard meta. And we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, Lindsay Lohan. That's what we're talking about. And I think it'll be close to Season 13. I don't think it'll be exactly like Season 13, but it'll be different than what we've been suffering with for the last year or so. The point of playing Caustic if Bangalore... Well, it's like a trade-off, right? If you're going to... With all the changes they have to controller legends, they want you to scan beacons, get evac towers, fly deep in the zone once you know where ring's pulling. That's an advantage. That's an advantage that you only have as a controller legend. And then you have another advantage on top of that. If that's how you're going to play while using Caustic, it'd be damn near impossible to push inside that building with Caustic. That's how powerful Caustic is going to be right now. It'd be damn near impossible. So you get that benefit of it, but then you also have a caveat to using legends like that and to playing like that. And if you run into a Bangalore, well, obviously, you'll be a little exposed and a little overpowered. And so it acts as a nice trade-off. So no playstyle really skews into one direction. You're going to naturally have a lot of people that are using controller legends, but then you probably have an equal amount of more aggressive people using Bangalore, playing edge, taking fights, and doing what they can to get kills. While you sit in the building in God spot as a Caustic, hoping to win. But by using Caustic, you have to know that there's a legend named Bangalore that acts as a perfect counter to you, and other controller legends as well. So you have to take that into consideration too if that's how you decide to play. What up, Pause? I think Watson will be played more, but I think you'd be an idiot to use her over Caustic. Watson, like with any legend, is fine to be played on a pre-made 3-stack squad where you have 2 people running hard meta, whatever that is, and then the third is up to your choice, really. But if you're going to play a controller legend, I think you'll get much more usefulness out of Caustic than Watson. We'll have to see. What up, Troll? Troll, I don't even know who you are. Can you say we'll have 2 metas, controller and Bang meta? It'll all be one meta. You think of the meta as like 3 legends that are being picked the most. Like last season, Ashe, Alter, Ballistic. There weren't 3 individual metas, but all 3 of them combined to make one meta. So right now you have Bangalore, probably controller legend, and whoever else. Revenant is still going to be played a lot. Ashe is still going to be probably number 1 in terms of pick rate. So it depends on your playstyle. These pro players that play the game, depending on how sweaty. If the games are truly sweaty, put it like this. If the games are truly sweaty and all the changes do exactly what it's supposed to do, so rank turns into something closer to Season 13, which is how the game should be, then you're going to have a lot of these pro players who will eventually be forced to play controller legends as well as everybody else, whether they like to or not. If that's how the games end up, then you will see a lot more Caustics, Watsons, maybe Catalysts, and Ramparts. Off rip, though, it depends. These pro players are probably going to use Ashe, Sparrow, Rev, whoever they've been using, Lifeline. No controller legends because they typically don't play controller legends. They usually play more aggressive, fighting on edge. But if the fact of the matter is like there's 15 squads left round 3, and there's not a lot of opportunities to take fights, then naturally they're going to start using controller legends, but I don't think we'll see it immediately. You'll probably see Caustic immediately, but we'll just see. We'll have to see. These are only predictions. What up, Sam? Thank you for the follow. Yeah, covering, and there's also a counter to Bangalore, right? If Bangalore ends up rising in the meta like this, then you also have Fuse that can act as a counter to her. Anybody can counter Bangalore with grenades, but because Fuse has built-in grenades into his kit, his knuckle clusters, grenades can dissipate the smoke instantly. So that could be a legend that we see being played tangentially to the hard meta that exists at that point. You might have an increase of Fuse mains. I don't think he'll be hard meta, but that could exist as a counter to Bangalore, which would promote legend diversity, and I think that'll be cool. What up, Robert? Right, with how powerful Bang is and with what her smokes can do, it needs a counter. But the way that I'd look at it right now is, okay, so if I'm in a building pushing a team as a Bangalore, and I already use my smokes to destroy whatever it is I need to be destroyed, well, I'm not using it for smokes. I'm not using it for cover. I'm using it as an entry device, a breaching device. And so after the job is done breaching whatever it is I need to be breached, if a Fuse wants to go, shoot his tactical at my smoke to get rid of it, Well, I've already done my job breaching that building. And so obviously smoke will help you regardless in that fight. But the job that you intended on doing in that fight has already been achieved. You already broke down all of their defenses. So it's like, okay, well, get rid of my smokes. We still have access into your building now. So we'll see. We'll have to see. Bob, I got no clue what you're talking about. What up, Hunter? Catalyst is trash now? She's been unchanged. I don't think she's trash at all. What up, Judy? I don't know who the fuck Rashida is. What up, Hulk? Thank you for 23, bro. We just need a meta that supports at least 3 character classes. Well, we'll probably be closer to that this next season. What up, Fees? How you doing, bro? Appreciate it. What up, Ethan? Just yapping. So you can get another yerba? Thank you. I appreciate it. MK got saying controller. I just see it. Protons. Yeah, they're always crying. What up, Fees? I don't think he should have got banned for that though. What up, Sushi? No, not med school. I'm applying to PA school right now, so I'm just waiting to hear back. Any other questions we have about the changes? That pretty much. I think we will see a change in playstyle. Right now we have ape everybody, kill everything. I don't care about rotations. I don't care about strategies. Just go push whatever we can. And it was worse. It was made worse with Alter Ash Ballistic, but they fixed the Alter and Ballistic issue. Ash remains. We don't have a hard kill cap like people thought. We do have a slight increase in placement points and a slight decrease in kill points. We do have the heat shield removed. We will no longer have 10, 30 people landing at the same POI. That change alone, I think everything. People are really upset about that kill cap change and not having one, not having a kill cap change. But the fact that you have a essentially designated landing spot that you're supposed to land at, as opposed to having the drop ship where you have 15 teams land and immediately a hot drop, and then you have the other people who haven't even jumped off the ship, and by the time they hit the ground, 5 squads have already died. The fact that we have designated drop spots for each team is going to slow down the pace of the game immensely, right? The reason why you're able to rotate smoothly early on is because you have 7 teams landing at the same POI. So there's a few POIs every game on every map that have been untouched. So if you land next to that and you get pushed out of your POI, you have another POI to go loot, to reset, or whatever. There's not going to be a single POI now that's been unlooted, because everybody's going to be landing somewhere. And so, yeah, you could try to take a fight on your next rotation, but that's not going to be the smartest thing to do because everybody else is still alive and surrounding you. So if you take that fight early on, you'll have several other teams rotating that way towards next zone that could easily come 3rd, 4th, 5th part of you. So I think these changes will promote a different playstyle, a healthier playstyle. What up, Juhu? Appreciate the 2,000 KRW. I don't know the currency, but I appreciate it. What up, Firefox? I think the matchmaking changes alone help Diamond players. Yeah. What perks do you think are going to be good for Loba? Oh, the amps? Or what? Are they changing Loba's perks? I didn't see nothing about that. Are they changing Loba? Are they changing everybody's perks? Will be less of an ape fest for sure. Loba got left in dust, she always does, but a lot of legends didn't get touched. I think it's just Caustic and Bang that got touched. That's that. I'll be live at 10 o'clock tomorrow. I gotta go poop, I think. Personally, I think the Devo should have been in the care pack. I haven't seen any changes of that, so the Devo is still going to be as strong as it is right now. So if people want to continue to use that, they can. I think the Devo needed to be in the package. Nobody really uses the P20s anymore after they got nerfed, which is good. I'm glad the PK is finally on the ground. It's the only shotgun I like. Did the Diva get nerfed again? I didn't see. It's down here somewhere. Why didn't reverse hipfire spread? So the hipfire would be worse. And oh, well, they already reduced the mag size. Improved scaling from high tier barrels and stocks. That's something they already did. So they're only nerfing the hipfire, which is good, I guess. Oh shit. Okay, let's go into some coaching now. I'm gonna coach some of the gameplay that I have saved from the Watson and Sparrow. Wasn't cheating. I'm not playing today. I wasn't even gonna stream today, so this is all you're getting. So if you like it, enjoy it. If not, then kick rocks. I was still getting Masters and Pred in D2 lobbies when I was D2. I didn't, Nifty. So I'm not gonna say that you haven't because you're you, but it could be a matter of your server and where you play. For me, since they made that change, I solo queued 2 different legends, Sparrow and Watson. All throughout Diamond, I didn't get one single Pred or Masters team until Diamond 1. And even while being in Diamond 1, there were still a handful of games where there were only 100% Diamond. Or not 100% Diamonds, but that was the max rank of all 20 squads was the Diamond. And so it worked perfectly for me. The audio screwed up on some of these clips, so I'm going to turn it down. I think I'm going to go to the bathroom before I do anything, so I'll be right back. Alright. Sorry, Sean, I'm tired, bro. What up, Jeff? Damn! Anyways, I was going to coach on Friday. I was going to coach you guys with clips that you guys sent me, but that would have taken too long. Most people don't have clips where they can send me 20-minute gameplay or whatever. So I'll just review my own clips for a little bit. Probably not for too long. And then go from there. If you guys, this would be the opportunity. If you guys have any questions, usually I don't answer questions if I'm solo queuing. 1, I can't read. 2, I'm too locked in. 3, I just don't care to answer Apex related questions while I'm playing. But if you guys have any questions about anything, this would be your opportunity to ask, to learn, as I review this.
Whatever.
This was for Sparrow. This is Diamond 1, so I finished Sparrow shortly after. I finished Sparrow shortly after. I wasn't able to get a lot of Sparrow clips because my clipping software was screwed up, but I figured it out. I think this is my 4K game in Diamond. I think this game... I don't think this game got me Pred, but I think it got me pretty close to Pred. Or Masters. Eliana, yeah, I guess. What up, Lindsay? Did I lotion my hands? No. I do lotion all the time, though. So one thing that I see a lot of people struggle with landing in a POI that has another team there is they don't section themselves properly. You know, you have to... Ideally, if you're going to chow a team in the same POI, you want to consume most of that real estate in that POI to get the most loot and to section off that other team to keep them into one building or whatever. So in this POI specifically with core, you'll notice that a lot of people for whatever reason love to land this back building here, and all three of them will land right there at that back building. At most you have the back building and then you have some bins and two little houses right there, and that leaves core, the rest of core, wide open. And so you'll always see me land right here interiorly where I'm at right now, looting the middle, looting all the bins on the outside, and taking up all that space. You know, you don't want to just loot the backside and let them and give that other team all the space to go loot all of this. No, you want to beat them there. So that's why I'm already here looting. Most people don't do that. Again, a lot of you guys that struggle with this game, Luna, thank you for the follow, will land directly on top of them when you have the whole POI free. That's just stupid. Why leave everything to the RNG gods like that? I'll even see people that'll land on the same building that a team just landed at 2 seconds prior to them. So they already beat you there. They're already looting. They already have guns, and they land right on top of them. This is what Diamond players love to do. Just absent-minded tomfoolery. I know that seems obviously pretty trivial in the grand scheme of things, but that helps you out, right? You're going to maximize your loot potential and minimize theirs. And look at all the space that we're consuming on this team already. So a guy pushed my left right here. He split. I think there might have been two teams here the whole time, though, which is why I back up. I can't give audio. I can. The audio screws up, though, so I'll have to mute then. It'll be desynced. Finished Watson? Yeah, I finished her last week.
There are two teams. You guys are pushing the second team.
So in a situation like that, again, you always think about the triangle offense. I always tell you guys about. I've been talking about that triangular offense for 3-4 years now. When there's three teams involved, you're always going to make, at some point, a triangle, unless you guys are directly stacked on top of each other. The point of that triangle is a situation you never want to be in, because that pinches you in between two teams. And so right now, as you can see, we're at the point of that triangle right now with a team to our left and a team to our right. And we want to get out of that. If we're going to continue fighting the team in front of us, then this team from our backside is going to be able to flank us and pinch us, and now we're screwed at that point. So that's why I'm playing very safe here. I had one guy super weak. That guy very weak. That guy very weak as well, but that's nothing that we can commit to now because there are two teams here. Either way, there's an option for you guys to either run away and continue looting or hold like I'm doing right now. And you always see me hold, because in a kill-based system, you want these kills. And so I don't shy away from situations like this. You got to maintain your composure. Obviously, 6 against 3. And so it makes it a little difficult. But that's why I'm just sitting here holding my ground, keeping my distance from the other team while I do damage here. It's a patient type of game. We always talk about there needs to be a balance between your passiveness and aggression. And to understand that balance is difficult for a lot of people. Right now, you'll see that I'm passive. But as soon as we get a knock at any point, that's when you snap into that aggressive side of yourself, and finish that team off, knowing that you're going to get third-partied. And then you fight the third party over there after that. Troll, if you have an account that's like bronze, yeah, I'll need it. You have to just DM me the login information. So that's obviously pretty annoying. You know, nothing can really come from that, but there's nothing that you can do. Again, to which you see a lot of bad Diamond players do, to commit to one of these fights means we're going to get third party. You don't ever really want to be the first team that's engaged in a fight when two other teams are landing at the same POI as you. That leaves the other team able to third party you easily.
Where the hell does this other team go?
Love team is always put themselves in between two teams. Yeah. Well, people don't understand. People don't have a solid grasp on their positioning, and a lot of them lack awareness as well. So it's difficult. That's why I give these tips. That's why I show examples so you guys can see what it's supposed to look like. So right now, another team pushed that team on the right from the POI over. So because they're committed in a fight right now, and I get a knock here, this is something that we flush out, kill, knowing that at some point, because there's two teams fighting next to us, we can get third partied. So as soon as we finish this fight, you want to take your attention that way, which would be back this way. And you'll see me use my ult here. I just want to get rid of that thirst. I don't really want to do anything else except get rid of that thirst to prevent any revives. And then we get aggressive. The audio already screwed up. He ends up running away but comes back with the altar portal. What up, Prinzing the Float? I think we do get third party here after we finish. Yeah, I could put on the audio, but it's desynced. So maybe it's better to have it desynced and you can hear something. But it might be a little annoying. What up, Zay? So that team's dead, but we know that there were two other teams fighting. And possibly one of them died, which leaves one team still in the area. I think we do get ratted on. I get ratted on here, I think. Yeah, so that's a different team. The whole thing that I want you guys to start practicing when you guys play like this, play the game and are stuck in situations like this, is to practice some patience. The team shot us from over here, but we don't want to just send that immediately, not without doing some sort of damage to create an opening for us. We don't want to push that team without getting a knock of some sort. I checked that way to make sure that we weren't getting third party, because the last that I saw, teams were fighting over there. So maybe that one of those teams rotated this way, and that's them. Don't know, but you want to check first. So now that I checked my backside and realized, okay, well, I don't see anybody come from that way, then it's time to get a little aggressive here. We don't need to, but in the kill base, our rank system, you need kills. And this team is just sitting here. And if they're not going to leave, then obviously that's something that you more or less have to fight. You don't have to. You know, if we started getting pooped on here, we might run away. But we had the advantage more or less the whole time. I remember, I think this team was using like 2 charged up Rampage, and they're playing really weird. But I'll get the opening in a second here. I think we'll get in some Watson gameplay after. What up, Knicks? Why don't you use Outplayed? I use my NVIDIA to record. It's built into my computer. Well, it's not built in, but that's what I use NVIDIA drivers. So you see, I'm just looking for an opening. I'm not, again, there's always that invisible line that you guys have to draw. In a situation like this invisible line is more... is perfectly defined. This wall right here, I don't want to pass that wall. If I pass that wall, it's going to be too difficult for me to get back to my teammates. My teammates can no longer hold an angle for me because I'm on the other side of that wall. So I stay right here and I'm waiting for an angle or an opening to do damage, to get a kill or something. Bad shots there, but then I end up getting one clip soon. So this Ashe is super weak. She's one tap, so now it's something that you want to start getting a little aggressive on. Even though the Ashe is still alive, because she's 10 HP, she's effectively out of the fight for X amount of time. So right now, as since we're in a 3v2 situation for the time being, that's when you start getting aggressive. And so now it's a 1v3 essentially. The Ashe is so weak, there's nothing that she could do but heal or run away, so she's out of the fight. Most teammates that I know would have mistakenly just pushed up in between all three of them without doing any damage. They're unaware of their surroundings and the positioning of the enemy team, and they would have walked in straight in between all three of them and would have died. So it's important that, like I said, you guys practice that patience. Wait for that opening. Do damage. Get a knock, and then push. In that order every time. Maybe one of them so super far split from their team, and it's like a lifeline, so she can't get out of there quickly. That's something that you would aggress quickly as well within that time that you have. Knowing that if you are pushing a non-movement character like a lifeline, her teammates are probably going to converge back onto her, so you only have a short amount of time to go and push that. But it all depends on the situation. What up, Skim? Am I retiring? End of the year. What a troll. When was this Sparrow Road to Masters? Last week. I finished him up last week, and I finished Watson in 2 days. I didn't start another one because the new season's tomorrow. I'll do Bangalore. So, theoretically, for most of you guys, 6 kills in a situation like this, and zones closing here, so we don't really have to rotate anywhere. This is where you begin to, for you guys, chill out. You got a lot of kills. Your placement is naturally going to be good because you're already positioned in circle. So you more or less would probably try to find an area, a building of some sort where you can clear off your backside and chill there and wait for the rest of the lobby to kill each other off. That's not what we do here, though. We see this team here. I decided to take this fight. The audio is so screwed up. What's up, stepmom? Watson was 2 days? Yeah, I did. I finished her in 38 games. I was only gold 2 when I started, though. But that's not bad, honestly. My stats were insane. I was locked in. My Sparrow ult was wasted. Got Watson genned up. Lifeline's on high with a wingman. Teammate gets weak. So at this point, we got overran. There's nothing you really want to do except rotate out and try to hit them from a different angle now. Or run away. But that's why I'm constantly surveying the area around me. I don't see anybody third partying, so we can stay here for a little bit. Again, notice my patience here. As I'm pushing this team, my focus is obviously on the team in front of me, but I'm looking at the surrounding areas. Is there anybody that could position themselves to come third party us? Where's the location of the closest nearest teams so that if we do engage in this fight, where is it likely that we get third partied from? So after we finish this fight, I would take my attention that way. You notice my playstyle is a little... it's not rat-like. You know, I'm still aggressing this team. They're in a building right now, not really showing any presence. But you'll notice that a lot of the times, because I'm the only one on my team that can get those entry knocks, that can position myself well, you'll see that I'm pushing them, but I'm not sprinting towards them. I'm not making a lot of noise. You know, I'm making myself small by crouching or walking towards them slowly so they can't hear me, and then trying to find an angle from there. Like I did on that Ash. She had no clue I was there. It's a very patient but aggressive playstyle. Same thing with the lifeline. And getting the lifeline knocked first is beautiful because that's their revive character, obviously. Sorry, the audio is desynced. But again, after we get that opening, it's time to get aggressive now. You have the numbers advantage, you have the health advantage, you got their lifeline knock, so it doesn't matter what's going on, really. If there's a team pushing you, you're committed to this fight right now. At that point, it's time to get super aggressive. That's when you switch off that passiveness and flip on that aggressive switch after we get that knock. And you'll see our Ashe continues to chase their Ashe that got away. That's a dumb move, to be honest. That could have costed us a game, but he ends up getting the Ashe anyways. Some point, in some situations, if they're already so far gone, and they get away, then they get away. Whatever. Right? Look how far he is from us. If he dies here, that kind of screws us over. A lot of Diamond players will tunnel vision a guy like that and end up costing the teammates a game because you're so far split from your team. What's up, God? How you doing, bro? Is the gas and smoke removing aim assist going to have an impact on MK? No, that stuff never had. MK doesn't have aim assist anyways. It'd have an impact on controller players, yeah. What up, Jorge? So right now, in a situation like this, ever since the matchmaking changes, once they removed, I'm Diamond 1, so technically we could have Masters and Preds here, but this game specifically, it was all 20 Diamond squads. And when you don't have a fraction of the lobby 3-stacking as triple Preds, pro players, content creators, whatever, these Diamond games tend to last a little bit longer. With 8 squads and 20 people alive, we are in a building right here, which, based on my knowledge and map awareness and zone awareness, the zone is probably ending somewhere close to us. So there's really nowhere else that we have to go except stay right here. We have 8 kills on top of that too, so that's when you don't really want to continue to ape. And especially as a solo queuer, if we're 3-stacking and I'm playing with 2 good players, we'll have all these kills, we'll go ape. But for the solo queuers out there, if you so happen to somehow get 8 kills and you have a god spot in this building right here, that's just when you just want to chill out. But you'll notice something that I do here, and this is the job of the IGL, this is the job of the anchor, this is the job of the solo queuer whose responsibility is doing everything. Right? We have teams over there fighting. We're not going to go third party that. That's a stupid push. But we're also not going to leave this area. But you'll notice that I tell my teammates just to hold this building here. Actually, no, we do rotate over here. I'll explain that in a second. This might be something that's counterintuitive, right? Why am I vacating the spot? What up, Aubrey? Why am I vacating our god spot to go out here with no cover to go and kill this team that's reviving? Well, the answer should be simple for a lot of people. The reason being for this is that we could sit in that building and let these teams rotate in without any contest, but then we have to worry about them from the rest of the game. If we can eliminate these threats behind us, then we won't have to worry about any team pushing from behind us for the rest of the game, considering that everybody else is already pre-positioned in zone. So by vacating that building and negatively rotating outside of zone into storm to hold this team out proved to be effective, but it's also a costly play because at any point somebody could come take our recently vacated building and hold us out. That's actually what happens as well. So I understand the risk by pushing this, but the risk outweighed the... It's just a high risk, high reward situation. And it's something that you won't see a lot of Diamond players do. This is more of like a pred type of push. But again, to eliminate both of these threats from behind us is important for us in the end game, so we no longer have to worry about anybody pushing us from behind. We don't have to worry about enemies coming from all 360 degrees. We only have to worry about what's going on in front of us. And that's the situation you always want to put yourself in end game. And so that'll help you figure out what fights you should take or shouldn't take while in end game. If I can eliminate threats on my backside, then that keeps the entire lobby in front of me. And I don't have to worry about constantly looking behind me, in front of me, and being pushed from every direction. But again, this isn't a push where we go all the way over there, like a lot of people will do, and go kill them. No, we have zone right here. They're out of zone in round 3. We just hold them out. Gatekeep them. But now we're getting shot from afar in the same building that we were just in. And even though that's a little annoying, you know, we still do have a bit of cover here, so the play is to do what we are intending on doing. We'll worry about them later, but we want to get these teams eliminated. So just like that, not only do we get 3 more KP, but we also eliminate all of our threats from behind us. So after we push this team in this building, we only have to worry about what's going on in front of us, and that helps us out a lot later in this game. I didn't need him to port, but I don't trust my teammates to be able to rotate effectively like this because it is a difficult rotate, so I do tell them to just ash port us on the front side of this wall, and then we'll go continue pushing this team over here. And in the same manner, I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to creep up. I'm going to slow walk. I might crouch. I'm looking for an opening by minimizing my footstep audio, by minimizing my size of my character, by crouching so they can't see me easily. I gave away my position right there with that shot, and I didn't do any damage, so that kind of pissed me off. You'll see this Ash is super lost in the sauce right here. Ideally, you would have wanted to throw that Sparrow ult on the right side, which is going to force this Ashe to back up into your angle. But because the Watson gem was right there, it would have zapped it away. So I put it on the left side here, which does allow her to dash forward and get out of it while getting back to a different type of cover. But she just stayed put. I don't know what she was doing at all. I actually shot. I thought she was the one that died when somebody else got knocked. I have no clue what she did. That's just Diamond players, you know, they start to panic and forget how to do anything.
I couldn't believe what I just saw. I didn't know how to respond to that.
So again, imagine if we didn't clear out our backside and this team decided to push us on some dumb shit and force a fight that we weren't ready for, that we didn't want to take. Then we have that team on the backside flanking us and third-partying us. We probably would have died here. So that's why it was important to go make that play over there. That's why we can loot freely right now. I'm not even taking my attention behind me because I know nobody's coming from that way. And, again, that helps us win the game. And you'll see here, again, even in this situation, we have a perfect building to play in this next zone. But I'm not... You never want to triple just sit into it. You want to show presence to show people, okay, there are people here. You can't push us. We're paying attention to you. We're not going to let you walk up and push us for freely. But you'll notice that I'll consume more space because we can, based on everything, all the decisions we made up until this point. I'm allowed to take the space up here to go grief this team again. But remember that invisible line. I don't want to cross this invisible line, which is this wall right now, because it's going to isolate myself to a point where my teammates can no longer hold an angle for me because now there's a big wall in between us. So I just stay on top of the wall right here so they can look over me. Well, all three of us continue doing damage. But I also tell them to stay at that building there. Just in case somebody else wants to wrap around and flank us, we're showing position. We're showing presence there. Again, that presence, even if you're not shooting at them, another team sees you there, they're going to say, okay, well, that building's not vacant. We can't just push it with ease. And that's enough of a deterrent to prevent people from pushing you, even if you're not doing any damage to them or shooting towards them. And we all three of us don't want to walk up here because it's going to vacate. And again, that'll allow a team to flank us if a team chose to do that. So I told them to stay there while I do some Sparrow shit. And I'm just griefing all of these teams here, putting in damage, making sure that they know that my presence is felt. But again, I'm not jumping on this side. I'm not jumping on past this wall. That's what a lot of Diamond players will do. You have to think not just from your position, but your teammate's position. If I jump past this wall right here, will my teammates have an angle for me if something happens? The obvious answer in this situation is no. But people only think from their perspective. It's difficult to think of everybody's perspective. And then figuring out how you want to play in response to their positioning and their perspectives. What up, Fern? What up, Dark? You just wanted more points to get off Sparrow faster? No. I didn't care. Getting kills here is great. I drop a 4K here. That's amazing. But what I'm doing is speeding up the lobby and putting pressure on these teams so that they're not comfortably sitting in one position. And by griefing them from afar, whether I'm getting kills or not, again, ultimately helps me and my team in the long run to help us win. It's not because I wanted kills, but it's by playing like this, how I'm playing, is going to help secure a win for us. If all three of us just stayed in that building right there, I think I killed 2 people already. Or I got 2 people killed. So these teams are broken now. They're weak. I also think that Pathfinder was cheating. I still think he is. That was a Prowler select fire at range. He was sus this whole game. And he was playing with some other cheater that I think is cheating as well, some random. So again, we just stay here. You know, we made every right move. This is probably how you guys will be forced to play next season. So it's important that you guys heed my advice and try to mimic this playstyle. Again, none of us have crossed past this wall. But notice the amount of real estate that we're consuming. If I don't hold this angle here and respect that a team could theoretically push me from this angle, then that's exactly what's going to happen. Someone's going to push me from there, and at one point somebody does. It's important to take all that space to cover angles to prevent people from pushing you on your left side, your right side, or behind you. Again, we're not just all cooped up in the same area. It's important to spread out and cover more angles so that you can see exactly what's going on. But even then, look, I'm looking to the left still. The left right now is my biggest threat. You know, Shaka's on the right angle right there, so nobody's going to push out. But in fact, somebody does push over here. And that's exactly what I wanted to avoid. And so because I'm aware that somebody could push me there, that play is no longer available for them, and they never push that side again. If all three of us are on that far right side, looking in that way, we would have just got flanked, been forced into a fight we weren't ready for it, and then we would have died. And that's the responsibility of the solo queuer like myself, the IGO. That's just what you have to do. Your teammates aren't going to know how to do that. What up, Zillish? How you doing? What up, Riggs? You have auto run? Auto sprint? Yeah. What up, Chico? How you doing, Fern? And so now we know exactly where the next zone is, right? Just right outside of where they're sitting at. It's at this point where I decided to take more space, and now we're jumping over this wall. Nobody's going to push us on the right side. Nobody's going to push us on the left side anymore. Now, considering that where we have to go for this next zone, it's time to take up more space because you don't want this team to slide down and consume this space right here and, again, force a fight that we're unprepared for. So we want to beat them to this spot to force them back up this and force them to sit up here while we have all of this real estate to play and all of this cover to play. And that's exactly what happens. This team does try to meet me here. But because I'm aware, I cut off this play for them. By practicing your awareness and your positioning and all of that, your rotations, you'll dictate how everybody else plays. And exactly what I wanted is exactly what happened. I don't want this team right here. So I said, get the fuck out of here. I used my ults, and I backed them up to where I want them to play. They are not playing, how should I say? They're not playing how they want to, per se, but they're doing what I'm allowing them to do. I'm also telling my teammates, you're way past that invisible line. If you guys die, there's no need to be all the way up there. I don't have an angle for you, so I tell them both to back up. We already did our job effectively. See, that was that Pathfinder again with his select fire prowler at range, bruh. I don't think he's real. Nobody shoots like that with a prowler select fire. Not at range. It's got a lot of recoil. So at this point, I kind of want to figure out the location of everybody. There's 2 squads left, but I only see one team the entire time. And I did see a solo that was riding up here that got scanned, but I don't know where he is. But I one-clipped that Pathfinder inspirationally, so. And then my teammate gets another knock. But look, my teammate pushed a stupid angle by himself. He overextended. You don't have to worry about this. If you just waited 2 more seconds, they can't flank this side anymore because it's round 6. They can, because you died. And now nobody's holding an angle on them. But if you just sat right where I'm at, or even sat right here and looked this way, if they decided to push you, we would have had 2 guns on them as soon as they jumped out of this little pocket here, and they would have died. But instead, because he overextended, he's the one that gets knocked, and now that puts us in a tough position. But luckily, we did get 2 knocks already. And that's what you'll see for diamond players. Diamond players can be a little impatient. And the solo just killed, I think it was a Pathfinder that I knocked earlier or whatever. So we were able to get that dub easily. That's how you can be forced to play next season. Rob, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. What up, Sober? Yeah, people, I don't necessarily think it's greed. I think it's just people to understand both the macro and micro at the level that I do is difficult. And you could play the game for 6 years and still not have a damn clue as to what it is that I'm talking about. That Ash, all she has to do, because we did everything right, and the zone's going to be right in front of us, and that team has to jump down towards us, we don't have to do anything but just hold there. But when Ash overextends, she crosses that invisible line that I talk about. Notice how I didn't cross that building that I was at. That was the invisible line that I drew up in my head. I stayed right there. Not the building, but that little platform structure. But she crossed that invisible line and got punished for it. And that's what will happen for a lot of diamond players. Pro players, prep players do it too. It's just a mistake. This is my master's game with Sparrow. We can, I think this one has some good plays to review. So we have a team getting revived right here. 17 squads still, and round one's closing. So there's a lot of people alive. We already killed one team here, but now there's like 3 other teams here. But when you have somebody getting respawned like that, that's always a perfect opportunity to go and get those kills. Assuming that you're not being pushed at the same moment, or they're not being pushed at the same moment. Rampage already got a knock against the guy that got the revive off. I know this might sound silly or stupid, but look how I perfectly timed this jump. I get off of it so I can get the kill before he flies away. That team's out of the fight. We got 2 extra KP for it, so it worked out perfectly. We didn't die. Nobody got knocked, so that was a perfect play. But now we are getting shot from afar. And I'm always looking behind me, as you guys always should do. Somebody on your team needs to look behind you and see if there's somebody pushing you from your backside. Nobody's pushing me over there, so I'll continue looting and look over where we're getting shot from. This game is actually pretty sweaty, though, because there was a bunch of preds in this game. What up, Silver? What up, Sam? Thank you, bro. So based on my information gathering, that's something that I always keep bringing up. I gather some information behind me to the left. Nobody's pushing us. So right now in this moment, it's just me and this other team. Notice how I'm not necessarily pushing. Remember how I always say what I'm unsure. Remember how I always say you don't really want to push or engage in a fight unless you get a knock or do enough damage to where that person is now mispositioned or has to retreat or whatever. That's usually what you want to wait for. But there's also going to be moments where somebody's so split from their teammates, which is a mistake, which will grant you an ability to go engage in that fight right there to try to get a knock. And as a person that does everything on their team, this is up to me. This castle, so it's a new castle behind here. So as I'm pushing him, I'm forcing him to either ult back onto his teammate and get out of there, and so now we have more space to play, or 2, force him to fight me. So I sparrow ult him early on to see if he's going to recognize that he's being pushed, which would force him to ult away. But he doesn't do that. He stays there. And his 2 teammates were like 20 meters behind him on the backside of that fence. So they're no of help to him. If I play the proper angle while I push this, they won't have any line of sight on me. And you'll see that in a second here. So this new castle is completely split. You know his 2 teammates are right there, right? So I don't want to extend out into the open. Because that would grant these 2 teammates over here an angle on me. So now all 3 of them are shooting at me. So you'll notice that here. You see what? He played that horribly. So I do extend a little bit more. But I'm still very close to this cover. So if I do recognize that I'm being shot from this guy right here, I'm only a yard away or so from this cover right here. I could fall back. But notice how I just don't sprint out into the wide open to get a better angle to kill this guy. I force him to push me. Plus my ult was eating his ass anyways. And now it's at this point. You get that knock, you're solo queuing. It's important for you to calm to your teammates. Time to push this team now. You have the numbers advantage. You have the health advantage. Now it's time to get aggressive. I got aggressive initially, though, because he was so split. So I capitalized on that mistake that he made. And now at this point, I'm just angry. You know, I shouldn't be chasing this hard, but I do. And again, that's just to maximize your points, your placement, and loot as well. But realistically, I probably shouldn't have gone this far. This team was just so bad. And you'll notice, I even say I was angry at how this team was playing. I continue to push that Ash all the way around. And you'll notice how that type of aggression almost gets us killed. So with how people play now, you always have to assume that somebody's going to be gatekeeping you on a zone like this. So while I continue to push forward, because, I mean, we could go back in zone where we just came from. We know that's free, but, you know, the zone is just right here. I decided to continue pushing forward, but you'll see that a team ends up applying a lot of pressure here. And it kind of screws us over. And so even somebody like myself, you know, because we got so aggressive on the Ashe, it kind of screws up our rotation, and it almost ends up costing us the game. But I wasn't dying this fucking game. This was my pred game. I didn't care. So I wanted to go here, but as soon as I'm pushing over here, I'm hearing that we're getting shot at from this way, which is fine. So we need to go left. That's not a fight I want to take in this moment right now, especially because, 1, I'm close to pred, 2, we have a lot of kills already, 3 zones this way. But as I continue this way, there's already a team right in front of me. So now we're fucked. Now we can't sit here and fight. Now we can't go that way where I was headed. So now the only choice you have is to continue to retreat. But like I said, it almost costs us right now. I'm fine because I understand the level of like urgency, the sense of urgency that you need in a situation like this. That team is hitting all their shots. They're shitting on us. They're super aggressive. I'm not even looking back. Just keep running. Rampage is looking at, for an angle for our teammate though right now. The Ashe, because the Conduit was really weak. But you'll notice I'm fucking gone. Obviously Conduit doesn't have any, but you see how aggressive that team got right there. They would have had the advantage based on their position in that fight, so I was uncomfortable with taking it. We could sit in that building right now, but again, considering that I'm close to pred, it just wasn't a smart play for me to take that fight. So I go back to where we came from initially. Assuming that team, if they were smart, they could rotate around and cut us off right here. So that's already on my mind. It would take them a little while to get there, though. But nonetheless, you have to make those assumptions to prepare yourself for the unexpected. And so from here, we just evac out before they could cut us off if that's what they were going to do. What about Eliana? 31 days. You got mods, troll? I do. So even if it's a solo running, we shouldn't push this far? No. If you've already got 2 of them, no. Because you never know what's on the other side when you're pushing them. So we have a team reviving over here. The only other information that we have on the closest team is the team that was holding us out over there. Because they're so far away, we have an opportunity to go and push this fight. I think 2 get revived here, so this is like, you got to push this shit every time. With 2 people getting revived. So one's cracked. I'm calm that there's a team behind him on the zip line. Don't know if it's a full team, could be a solo. I only heard 1. I see 2 now. So that's something you want to take into consideration. So this is all micro information that we go over. What up, Lord? This is all micro information, you know, micro pertaining to the fights and our rotations within that fight and our position within this fight. That stuff is hard to generalize because each fight is going to play out differently. But again, you're not just brain dead sending. Even though 2 got revived, you see the angles that they're holding. 2 on the right, 1 on the head glitch right here. You just want to hold your angle and hopefully do enough damage to grant you an entry into that building. But right now we can't. Rampage does get a beautiful knock, but you see how annoying this team is on the far building. They're just sniping at us the entire time, which makes me a little nervous. And I'm also pushing up the staircase myself. Both my teammates, I'm always aware of my teammates' position. I'm the only one up here. If all 3 of us were healthy, we could all ran in, triple swing in, and killed them. But we pushed in segments, which ends up costing us this fight. And unfortunately, we have to end up rotating. In a situation like this, what you guys have to do is all heal up at the same time and all push from the same angle at the same exact time. Or at least different angles, but nonetheless, you're pushing at the same time as each other. You'll notice that, look, they're going in when I'm healing, I'm going in when they're healing. They still haven't got that revive off. This guy's, I'm still getting shot in my ass from the other team, so at this point, the play's dead. They defended that well. But it was more so the other team that was griefing us. And when you have 7 pred squads in your lobby, you have to play a little differently. So it's a very annoying fight. We waste a lot of heals, a lot of time, a lot of ammo, and nothing came from it. So at this point, I want to take control of this building because I know where obviously the next zone is going to be somewhere at this POI. If we could hold this building right now, eventually that's going to mean that we can gatekeep whoever comes through this this area right here, and force them the other way around. So I'm not just rotating all the way in and finding a building this early on. I'm sitting right here waiting for zone to come in and looking this way to hold these people out. You'll see what I mean in a second. But as I'm rotating here, there's already a team here. This isn't a fight that I really want to take. I'm just bitching them out of here. I'm getting super aggressive to, again, force them into doing something I want them to do, which is a slide back down towards this POI so we have this whole area to ourselves. If they want to sit here and fight, they want to sit here and fight. But you see, they ran away already because we beat them there. And it might have just been a duo, too, so they didn't really have a chance to stay and fight. What a Paramore. What a Blink. My teammates were very good this game. Some of the best solo queue players I played with. I think we all dropped 2k plus damage. What up, Fonz? Yeah, I'm not going to play today because the new season's coming out tomorrow. So right here, it gets very boring here. But again, this is how you're going to be forced to play next season. I promise you. This is how damn near every game is going to look like with perhaps even more people alive. So again, why am I staying here? 1, we have cover. 2, we have an easy rotate into the next zone on the left side once the next zone goes that way. But 3, we have the ability to gatekeep anybody rotating through this cave or whatever you want to call it. Not just for this zone, but for the next zone as well. So that's why we stay here for super long. You'll see 2 teams end up fighting each other here. And so I scoot up to get better angles to grief this team. But again, I'm drawing an invisible line. Guarantee you the invisible line for me is going to be here. I bet you I don't cross that. What's the importance of drawing that invisible line? Well, if you go beyond that, you're committing to that fight. And that's not a fight I want to commit to. Now with 2 teams fighting without any knocks. They get a knock now. And I think they wiped them, but all 3 of them are up and healthy still. So even if we were going to third party that, they finished that fight so quick. That's just a fight that we shouldn't take. And we know that's a fight that we shouldn't take because all we have to do is sit right here and hold them out. And that's eventually going to force that team to rotate the other way, which is what we want. Like Rampage he's Ashe, so when you're on a legend like Ashe, your invisible line could be a lot closer to them. If I'm Loba, my invisible line could have been on top of that building, knowing that I have the ability to escape if I need to, but Sparrow's not so easy. Did you already take a few minutes? Yeah, creep, I did. I think they were underwhelming as well, but I think it'll still have the same effect that we're looking for. Avalanche, don't worry about my server, bro. So we're just sitting here. Again, super boring, but that's how you're going to have to play next season, with probably more squads live at this point. Again, by sitting here, our rotation down to the left is free. What we don't want to do is vacate right now early on and allow this team all this space to come flank us while we're rotating. And a good team next season is going to do that. But after we realize that, we held long enough, they can no longer rotate this way, that's when we finally elect to rotate to the next zone. So the only place we can play right here is this building. And we know that the team that we were holding out just a second ago is rotating from the right, and they're probably the ones shooting at us with a 30-30 right now. There's already a team pre-positioned in here, though, so you guys have to get comfortable with coexisting with the team. Watch how crazy this ends up being. Again, you don't want to just run straight in there when there's a team. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if they're ratting you or whatever, so you just hold right where you're at. And that's what we do this entire time until we get opening. I tell Rampage to go close that door just in case anybody wants to flank us from the left side. And Bangalores are funny. Bang mains are funny. People don't know how to play Bang anymore. He just granted us cover right now. You never smoke the enemy. You smoke your feet. Why is that? So you could see them, but they can't see you. By smoking us, you can't see us, and we can see you. You just gave us free cover to go and push the Revenant, which is what I use right now. So I use this Sparrow ult to fuck them off, but to also get scans. I'm using this smoke as cover. I get constant scans on them. The Bang's running away. It's like if you guys play football, bro, and you're in man coverage and you're a DB, and you're looking at the hips of a wide receiver. Once those hip change directions, you don't look at their face, you don't look at their chest, you don't look at their arms, you don't look at their legs, because those are all deceptive. But you look at their hips, because your hips never lie. Shout out to Shakira. When you turn your entire hip and body and face the other way, you're gone. You're not a threat to me anymore. You just bought me an opening to go and swing this Revenant right here. And it was once he gave me his back, I decided to push. The Revenant was tethered as well, so it worked out perfectly. He gets his bat off. I almost die here. But luckily my teammate helped. I didn't die, I guess. I almost got cracked, though. And we know based on the position of the other team with the 30-30s, somebody is going to be over here. So I'm letting my teammates know, be careful of the door. There could be somebody coming from that way. And now we're getting pushed by another team, I think. Which was a very stupid fight. I hear the solo Ash from earlier. Get him out of the game. And so now it's a fair 3v3. Just based on the circle, I have no clue where they're at. But I'm commenting that they have to be somewhere to the right of us. We were just over there. Nobody was over there. We were just right here. Nobody's over here. So somewhere, based on power of deduction, they're somewhere over there. And they put down a Moby, so now we know exactly where they're at. And when is it 3v3, you just want to go take angles. We kind of almost threw here. We actually let him get a revive off. I missed all my shots. This dude's reviving on the inside of the door. So he gets that revive off. Looking at it back in hindsight, I should have shot this conduit queue out so I could take more space on this door and get a better angle for the guy that jumps in from the dropship straight down to that door. Like he just goes straight in. Obviously, there's nothing you can push right now. I finally destroyed that. But now I'm looking. You would assume that somebody's holding an angle right here, which is what they should have done, but nobody is. So I walk in. I get ratted on by the guy that just got revived. So I'm coming. I need help right now. They helped me quickly. As soon as I got shot, the Ash was already getting an angle. So now once again we have the numbers advantage. It's a 3v2. So I want a full heal, and then what people will do in situations like this, especially bad diamond players, is that because we have the numbers advantage, they'll go just push whatever by themselves. Because we have more people alive than them. If you're not him, don't do that. And if you're stuck in diamond, you're stuck in masters, that's not a play for you to make. Even for myself, that's not a play that I'm making, especially because they're all on height right here. So I communicate to my team, all three of us need to push together at the same time to get that guy out of the fight up here. So that's what we do. They poured up together. That guy gets dead. I miss everything, but he gets killed in a second. And then we end up winning the game because that guy was weak. And that was my Masters game. You see how methodical you have to be. You might not have to be right now because of how the rank system is, but next season you will. You will have to be methodical. You will have to be patient, communicate to your teammates, push together, play together. When you're solo queuing against 7 squads of Pred, 20 plus Preds and Masters, that's how you have to play. And we ended up, I went back-to-back, I think, in dubs right there. I got 622 for that. So that was another good game. We can go to a Watson game. Yeah, Blake, bro, you'll see me, I've 2v3'd how many times? Thousands. Against pro players, against bots. Just because you're down a man doesn't mean you're out of the fight. And you know that's true because a lot of the times when you go down a man, the 3-stack usually ends up pushing stupidly. The other two might be healing, looting, thirsting, while one of them's pushing you, thinking that we're all pushing together, and then you get that kill. That's how you play a 2v3. You play right next to your teammate, you shoot 2 people, or you shoot 2 guns at one person, you team fire everybody, and that's how you win. If we went and pushed stupidly, if I went and pushed by myself, and I die, then I put them in a very shitty 2v2 situation and make it difficult for us. Why do that? Why make it difficult for yourself and your team? Push all 3 together on one person, get him killed, and then take your attention to the last guy. Especially because they had height right there too. That would have been something that could have made it very difficult for us. Now we're on Watson. I started at gold 2, so I'm gold 1 right now. We're on Kings Canyon, obviously. Obviously the competition is going to be a lot easier. But you guys find yourselves in these lobbies and yet you still struggle, so there's still stuff that you guys can learn. And I like being on Watson right now. She's completely non-movement. So the reason why I was able to go from gold 2 to Masters in 38 games with an 8+ KD and an average damage of 2,000+ while solo queuing is because with Watson and her lack of movement, I have to be much more thoughtful and intentional with my positioning, both at a macro and micro level. So that's why when I play a character like this, you're going to see my stats are crazy. I can do it in record time because I'm actively using every little bit of my brain because I have to, because you don't have any movement to crutch. And a lot of you guys like to play shit characters like this, so this will help you. But there's a guy, eventually he takes this thing, this jump pad up towards us by himself. Teammate just cracked him, so I go get an angle on him, I kill him. You want to work within those windows that you're afforded. And then from here, we get that knock. His 2 teams are over here. What do? We get aggressive. In that order. Every fight that you take in that order is going to be information gathering. Where is the position of the enemy team? What legends are they using? What weapons are they using? Gather that information. And now at that point, you're looking to either initiate that fight. So you're either taking angles, you're taking space, or you're capitalizing off the mistakes that the enemy makes. That Pathfinder didn't listen to that invisible line that I'm always talking about. Again, it's very ambiguous. But that invisible line in a POI like this is not past that middle where the ring of fire is. That would be the invisible line. You don't go push that past that invisible line by yourself. You could do it with all 3 of them. But the reason why you don't do it by yourself is because if you cross that invisible line, you are committed to that fight now. And if you misposition yourself like that Pathfinder did, a good player is going to take advantage of that every time. This bank shitted on me. I jumped on his head, so it messed up my fall. And this is always scary too, because it's like I get a knock that banks 50 HP, but Appa Yip Yip hasn't even healed yet. He looks lost in the fucking sauce. Watery Soup is pushed up in a 1v2. So it's like, okay, well, let's just reset. We got the knock. The knock is on our side. So he shouldn't be getting revived. I'm mad that I jumped right on top of that Bang's head, though. And it just makes it difficult. Even in gold lobbies. I think they end up running away. You could be a coach for a pro team? Yeah, I for sure could. The poor tier 2 kids wouldn't like my coaching style though. I'm all no bullshit, no excuses. It would help. That's exactly what they need, but they don't. Kids nowadays don't like responding to that. They don't respond to that type of shit well. They like to be coddled. They like to be babied. They like to do whatever it is they want to do. They want to show up late to practice and scrims and back talk and all this shit. Nah, bro. You back talk. You guys ever play organized sports in your life? I played football my whole life. You talk back to your coach, you're going to get bitched out in front of all 50 of your teammates. And my coaches were rude. They'll sit there and degrade you. Degrade you. And that's the same for every sport. It doesn't, fucking gymnastics is the same. Basketball, baseball. Your coach is going to bitch you out. Don't back talk your coach. People aren't coachable in the tier 2 scene. That's why they suck. I'm the coach. I know more than you. That's why I'm coaching you. Unless you're Tom Brady. Then nobody knows more than you. Like with somebody like Hal, I wouldn't need to necessarily coach Hal. But even Hal needs a coach. The coach is responsible for different things, obviously. They're not telling how he needs to play. But even as the best player in the world, you make mistakes. And you need an outside perspective to tell you and call you out on your shit if you do make a bad play. And then a good player like Hal is going to take that instruction from anybody. Obviously, his coach probably sucks cock at Apex. But I guarantee you Hal still heeds his advice because he's the coach. And that's just a winner's mentality right there. There's your peak, right, Pred? What up, Los? No, I don't do individual coaching. I'm giving you more than I could ever give you individually doing this right now. Because individual coaching, all that I'm going to see is your mechanics or shit. There's tips that I can give you for mechanics, but that's just pointless. You go figure that shit out yourself. If you want to help with mechanics, you can go learn from District or something. That's primarily all he teaches, mechanics.
Don't worry, I'll throw some fences at you. Like, what?
You see a team out in the open like this and you're already getting cracks on them, that's when you want to aggress and get angles and try to get a knock. they're on the same rotation as you. So unless you're trying to go far left and avoid this fight, which bad players will do, this is a fight that you have to take. And you see how bad they are too. Obviously we're in gold. We get 2 knocks. Watery Soup lands on the last guy. I think the last guy probably gets away. But now we just loot and continue rotating. We're obviously in gold and silver, but if I'm that team, you should have been heard us fighting. They probably landed airbase. You should have been heard us fighting at Gauntlet the entire time. So when you're rotating, why are you even rotating this way, knowing that someone's going to be coming from the same exact angle? It would have been better for them to have rotated from the left. If that's where we go, then they're already in zone and they could gatekeep us from there. Obviously, you're going to see bad rotations at this rank, but you'll see it at every rank as well, even pro player or prep players.
Oh my god. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, having to use these no skins fucks with my and it fucks with my fingers too.
You put that on the cover? Yeah, that's the only thing you can do for Watson, bro. Yeah. Shit, I'm gonna push in the open. I'll put my ult down and I'll use it as cover. And even then, your ult gets destroyed and like, bro, it's got like 200 damage, bro. It can get destroyed super quick. But anyways, either way, however much damage it does take, that's still 200 damage that I'm not taking if I play it properly. So it worked out there. Give me VIP, Elion? Maybe. You don't have to watch time though. Everybody was a gold player. No, I was pred. I've only ever been pred. So it's not true. But most people, yeah. Most people at one point have been gold or are still currently gold, but I wasn't. Exactly, Jaden, and it's difficult because every fight is so different. It's difficult for me to generalize. You have to when it comes to battle royale, the only thing you can do is generalize and reduce it to its its most reduced form. So that's why I come up with the invisible line thing to show you that this is if you go beyond that invisible line, you're now committed to that fight, and the fight must be committed to. But if you're behind it, as you should be, you should sit behind that invisible line and create an opening for yourself to push. Get a knock, get one super weak, and then you can cross that invisible line once you have that advantage. But most people will just see a team and just push brain dead. They won't do any sort of information gathering. And so that invisible line is going to force you to gather information. Remember, in every fight that you take, sometimes there's going to be a team, if you're in this building, and sometimes a team is just pushing you and you're looting, so you don't even know that they're there. You can't really information gather. They force that fight, you just have to respond. But in most situations where you're randomly rotating and you're meeting up with a team that's also rotating, you want to gather some information first. And I told you that information gathering is locating, number one, their position, the legends that they're playing, and the weapons that they're using. Who's better solo? Probably Ash. Because you can teleport her whole team. I remember I spam finished this guy. This was some random bronze master kid who came in third party me for the dub at the game before this. So fuck this guy. Don't do that, chat. Don't do that. You gotta earn your stripes to be able to do that. Once you hit Pred 16 times, then you can do that. Until then, if you guys never hit Masters of Pred, I'll never want to see you spam finish nobody, bro. Nobody. And again, notice my positioning with Watson. I'm not walking out in the open because there's somebody shooting over me right now. If I commit to that fight to help my teammate out, I might die. So I take this opportunity while they're distracted shooting my teammates to rotate smartly by utilizing cover. Knowing that, if I do get overran here, I might be dead. So I'm playing from cover to cover. That rock right here, this rock right here, continue by this, and I'm just waiting. See if there's an opening. He runs away, so I'm able to take that space he just vacated and look down towards him. I get this guy very weak. But even then, because they're just running, and my teammates are nowhere near me, I'm not continuing to follow them. I'll just cut them off right here. We have to go this way anyways. If I was a Loba, I would have braced it on that Pathfinder. But I don't have that. I don't have the ability with So that's the same team that I just shot at with a professor. They played this rotation actually perfectly for a gold player. I'm the only one up here, and that Ash was able to beat me to this rotate and take height on me. But luckily for me, I was able to crack her, so she can't really look down at me immediately. She just has to pop it back. So within that 5-second time frame, she's by herself. I'm going to go take that portal after her and go kill her. Her teammates haven't taken it yet. I don't know where they're at. That's where they're at. So we got 2 of them knocked, but they have altar, and there's another team over there, so I just have to heal. They portal out. What up, Jaden? If for sure. What up, Professor? If for sure will. That's why it's important that you guys listen to what the tips I'm giving you right now. I'm in gold right now. There's only 4 squads left, so we don't really have much to talk about, but that was what the last games were for. So he was calling back his teammate. We already knocked the altar. They're both dead. Their teammate is Ash porting out, so I'm just going to thirst. And now focus on a rotate. We know earlier when we were first engaged in that fight that there was a team on the top right of cage. So I don't really want to push that way, hence why I'm going left here. So I have between us the cage. And so if there is a team on the other side, I have all of this covered for myself. If I push to the right, then again, I'm forcing that fight immediately as soon as we rotate in. But by staying here, if there's a team holding us out, like I think there might be, I can go to the far left and go around. I think that's what we do. Yeah. You'll notice that because I'm Watson, and because I don't have any movement, you have to be a lot more passive. So I'm not sitting there waiting for them to fucking to do anything. I just start rotating around. That's how you have to play as a Watson. That's why my KD was so high, my win rate was so high. So I was able to get to Masters in 38 games because I play like this. If I'm Sparrow or anybody with movement, I'm much more aggressive. Sometimes to my own demise.
She reses all weird. She goes inside of the objects every time.
Great. Same time every Tuesday for the last 6 years, bro. Same time. Same time. 10 a.m. Pacific.
I'll be behind cover, but then she'll stick out so far away she'll be out of cover.
And again, we wrote this way because we're getting held out from the other side. And I'm not on a legend that can do anything about that. If I'm Ash, I can go aggress that. If I'm Loba, I can go aggress that. But because I'm not, again, I have to be a lot more strategic with my rotations. I think this was actually a crazy situation. I get into a crazy situation here. Pretty sure I clip him. So that's one guy knocked. His 2 teammates are to the left. It actually might be another team. It is. So this is another team that I'm pushing right now. Now we're pinched. There's a team right here and a team in the choke. They're fighting and committed to that. They've knocked another person. I don't know if they revived the first guy that we knocked. They probably did. So now I'm going to help them because I got that lifeline weak and I saw them backing up. But this is not something I want to overcommit to, especially with them playing Caustic. Now we need to go take this spot back here so we don't get pushed from behind. We want to take more space. You see, I'm the one that does that, but my teammates don't do that. That ends up getting us killed. Both of them. They were so tunnel vision on that team right there, they didn't know anything about what was going on behind them. And they all get punished for it. Right now, as Watson, there's nothing I can do except just stay here and hope to God that that team continues holding out this team through the choke so this team doesn't push me.
1000% death rate.
And hopefully I get this revive off, which I do. And again, you just have to sit here. It's not a situation that we want to be in. Obviously, we're pinching between 2 teams, but with me as a Watson, there's nothing I can do.
Walk past this shit right here. Oh, zip your ass up.
I actually shit on this team right here. And you'll notice my Revenant, again, bad players are going to panic in situations like this. As soon as I get pushed and I stun this guy, Rev just dips out.
Why are you running?
And that's probably exactly why they end up pushing right now. My teammate just threw. Almost through. But he's weak. I got the other guy knocked. And now I'm by myself. My teammate went to go through the choke and revive my teammate. Which tells me that there's obviously nobody. The initial team that we were fighting there is now rotated far right. So I can go push up on this freely now. And that's the team that just charge rifled me. I know I'm by myself right now though, but I have knocked 2. That lifeline was lost in the sauce. He's gone, so it's like, don't even worry about him. This guy comes out of nowhere. I definitely shouldn't have survived that, but I did. Oh, this endgame was crazy, I think, actually. This was probably one of the more annoying endgames I've ever had, but we will see a lot more endgames like this next season.
Who says Scrappy ain't calling Watson? I'm talking to you for your fucking behavior. It's not even my level.
I was really gonna follow it up, Daddy. Say master in 38 games? Yeah.
It's your legend. It's not even my legend. The bar.
We have a team up there. That was the first team that I won clip 10 years ago. But my teammates pinched themselves and died. So they're still alive. Here's somebody queue towards me, a Revenant. I know he's on the inside of this door right here, so I swing inside to kill him. Having 2 R3s here kind of screwed me, but I didn't have any energy ammo, and I didn't want to have to worry about that. You see this blue bar right here? Like the next 10 minutes, bro, are stuck in this building right here. I think this is beneficial for you guys to listen, so listen up, or to learn. What up, Chase? So we have a team on top of us, and we have a team over there, that Valk team. This is the best position for Watson to be in. So obviously eventually here I'm going to start fencing everything. You know, I'm trying to get an angle, but there's already a guy watching me from over there. So I'm forced back in here. Maybe Gray. Too late to think about that now though. So it's very difficult with our legend comp right now. If we had an altar or something, we could continue challenging this team on height by taking a portal over and over and over and over and over again, but we don't have that. And to walk up there is to expose us to that other team holding us out. All 3 of these guys are positioned on each side of this roof right here, so there's really not a lot that I can do, especially as a Watson. And so unfortunately, we're just stuck here. I get that guy cracked. Again, this is a point where you just have to exercise patience. I'm not reviewing other people's clips, Baz. These are mine. So I got that Caustic team. He's probably part of that Valk team. He's getting revived already. There's nothing that I could really do. Obviously, they're all holding me out. I tried to prevent that revive, but I knew that I could have potentially taken damage right there, so that's not something that I fully commit to. Nah, Chase, I'm doing my own clips right now. I wasn't supposed to stream today, but I figured I can just review my clips since I have them. So I'm looking for an opening on this backside here because I don't hear anybody above me, but there's a Caustic trap there. One of them knocked each other and thirst him, so now it's like at least a 3v3v2. What up, Link? How you doing, bro? This will be probably every end game next season at every rank. And again, I haven't done shit, bro. I probably dropped maybe 100, 200 damage the last couple of minutes in here. There's nothing I can do. And although it's aggravating, you just want to exercise that patience too. You'll see I'll try to get a little kill right here, or an opening of any sort. It fries the shit out of me though. But you know, I guess an important part to highlight for you guys is notice how I continue taking angles over and over and over again, and I'm rotating constantly between different angles as well, whereas my teammates aren't doing that at all. That's important for you to do in a situation like this so that that team above you still has to respect every single part that you continue pushing. Maybe I'm only pushing the left, so all three of their attention could be right there to the left. And they know that after the last 2 minutes or so, nobody's tried to push them from the right. They could take all their attention right there. But because I'm hitting them from different angles over and over again, I'm forcing that team to respect every part of this building. So they're constantly having to scan around and survey the area to make sure that they're not being flanked. And that puts them on the defense. Even though we're inside, fortified, I'm making offensive-like plays to put them on the defense. To either get an opening, get a knock, do enough damage, whatever. A lot of people, bad players, will just sit in here. Oh, well, zone's coming in. We're just going to wait till round 6, and we're all going to sit here. But given our positioning right now, the team on high ground is going to have a little bit better of a spot than we do for this next rotation. So to constantly hit them over and over again from different angles, again, puts pressure on them. And a lot of times you might be able to catch them slipping so you can open a knock-up or something, which is what my teammate does here, actually. Especially like that heat shield play. That's an important thing for you guys to start practicing. I guess we won't have it anymore, but previously, most people aren't going to look at angles that are covered by zone. And so a lot of times you could walk up for free on that side with or without a heat shield and try to get an opening from there. But again, nonetheless, I'm popping up all the angles I can. That Valkyrie is a part of the other team. I don't know what she's doing that close. She was just playing weird. As a solo, all she needed to do was play over by that fence, the staircase, literally, where the end game is. And by doing that, she could guarantee second place. The Valkyrie and Mirage could have died right now, and then they get third place. They'll end up getting second place, though. My teammate gets a beautiful knock on this team that's been ratting up top the entire time. Me having 2 R3s here isn't optimal at all. But I did enough to that Ashe or Alter. My teammate walks up, so it's like, okay, now I gotta go back him up. And then you take your attention to the last team. My team is pretty good for being gold, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm telling you, gold players are better than diamond players. But see, it's all about being patient. We had good cover because we're inside the building. But it's important for you to not just stay and sit inside the building and continue trying to hit them from different angles over and over again to keep them on the defense. On the defensive. I'm going to go pee real quick. I'll be right back. And we'll continue. We'll do like a higher rank one. This was obviously gold, but I think that had a good end game situation. There'll be a lot of end games like that next season. Use the chat. I don't use chat link anymore, bro. I can't remember how I used to use it, bro. I haven't used that in like 4 years. Charlie, thank you for follow. Get water, I got cotton mouth. I think if I had to figure out, I think if we had to, the main takeaways from that last game is a lot of times if we think about diamond players, I think the biggest thing, gold players, whoever, bad players in general, in a situation that I was in last game, all three of them are just going to sit inside that building and allow everybody to dictate the outcome of that fight. But that's why it's important to continue taking angles, looking for openings to put pressure on that team so that if it comes down to it, at some point you might have the advantage, like we did right there with my Pathfinder looking at that guy up top and getting a knock. That made that easier. If he doesn't get that knock, all 6 of us have to jump right on top of each other, fight each other, and the Valkyrie and Mirage probably win the game. But because we're constantly putting angles on that, looking for different angles on that team above us, eventually it ends up working. And eventually you'll end up catching them slip. And my Pathfinder was the one that did it. Rack, it'll be harder in a sense like you're going to have to be more strategic. I don't think that makes it harder. But a lot of people aren't strategic, so I guess it'll be hard for them. That's why, bro. That's a good point. Is it going to be harder next season? No. No. At least it shouldn't, theoretically. Season 17? No. It was season 13 that was strategic. I don't know if you're trolling, though. It was season 17. That was the easy season. Theoretically, it shouldn't be any harder next season, but it will be. Why? Because when people play this game during series or periods of time like right now where the rank system is so stupid, so easy, where it's just run around, kill everybody, and there's no level of strategizing involved at all, it's going to be difficult for players that will try to continue to play like that next season because that's how they've been playing for years now. But if you're somebody like me who's been playing for a long time, who still actively practices rotations, especially when I'm solo queuing, rotations or knowing what fights to take and when not to take them, to a level that's reminiscent of something that I had to do in Season 13. And beyond Season 13 as well, the old rank systems, you really had to be intentional with all of that stuff. Because I've developed that skill set and I still play like that to this day, it's not going to be any harder for me. That's why I can go through any rank system, whatever they throw at me, and hit pred. Solo queue to masters, it doesn't matter. But for the average person that plays absent-mindedly, that doesn't have a damn clue about how to rotate, how to avoid certain fights they shouldn't take, or to fight fights that they should take, and all sorts of other things that are involved, they're going to struggle. I don't think the entry cost is punishing enough. So you might be able to get away with some stupid plays still. You know, at one point, I don't think it was Season 13, but there was one point, if you were pred, you were taking like minus 250, bro. But even then, I think that was Season 17, actually. And even then, the number one pred still had like 400,000. No, that was minus 35 in Season 17. But there was some season after that where it was like, after every 1,000 RP you gained, it was like extra 10 RP cost or something. What's up, SRT? Thanks for following up, Diablo. Yeah, I might have a nice gunny. But the most important thing that you could focus your practice on is not your gunny, but your awareness, your rotation, your positioning, overall just IQ, stuff like that. And that way, if you guys start to integrate these tips that I'm giving you right now that are primarily, you know, I'm not talking about mechanics at all. I won't be. Like I said, if you want mechanics, you can go to district for that. But the things I'm giving you right now have everything to do with IQ. If that's where you can focus your main efforts on, you don't need to have a mean gunny. You're going to be in such an advantageous position that you can have pretty mid-aim. But you still dominate that fight because you've done everything right leading up into that moment. So me having a mean gunny isn't the most important aspect, but obviously that helps. I always say the things that you should focus on the most, there's 3 main categories that you focus your time on with practice. Awareness, I categorize it just general IQ. Anything falling under that umbrella term. It could be map awareness, zone awareness, positioning, everything, rotation, everything. And after that, the second most important thing would be your aim, your mechanical aim, and then after that would be your movement. If you are focusing on any of the other 2 before your overall awareness and your understanding of the game, then you end up with a lot of these shitheads that have great aim, but they don't know how to fucking play the game to save their life. And so that's something that I've been telling you guys for years. I don't want to see you guys focus on movement. M&K or controller, people that focus on that tend to suck the most. And that's why we see all these M&K players always bitching about aim assist and controller players. It's not because aim assist was ever too strong. It's that they rely so much of their time and dedicate their time to focusing on movement, so that when they get into a wide open, they vacate all cover so they could just fucking neo strafe in the wide open, and then yell at controller players for having aim assist because they still get one clipped. You see a lot of people that focus their time on that movement aspect of the game because it's cool, because it's a fad. That's what's popular now, and end up not being able to produce good results in the game because they're not focused on what matters. What matters is your awareness, your IQ, everything involved. Movement should be the last thing you're worried about. And even the movement that you should be worried about is not neo-strafing, it's not super jumping, it's not super gliding. Your movement is timing your crouches properly so that you don't commit to a dead slide. It's like every 3 steps. If you try to crouch, if you're sprinting and you try to crouch, let's say you crouch right now, and then within the next 3 steps you try to crouch again, you will always produce a dead slide. So timing that properly so that you don't produce that dead slide. Moving effectively from cover to cover, especially if you're a non-movement legend, to minimize the amount of damage that you receive while you're pushing that team is some of the most important aspects of movement. But that's what people don't focus on. Again, it's cool because of Fade and HU and whoever else to focus on these cute little tricks that these MK players can do. It's not Fade's fault. You know, Fade does everything well still, and he just happens to do that movement extremely well. But people look up to him and try to replicate that, and then, again, they don't end up performing well in game. They're all hard stuck diamond, platinum, or whatever. And then, of course, they want to blame something, so they blame controller players, they blame aim assist, but they're practicing the wrong way. What up, Emma? How you doing? It should always be like that. It should be worse next season. I think a lot of these players will struggle a lot more. That's that whole controller brain thing, Professor. A lot of people will practice like, brother, so many people. A lot of pro players as well. Think of somebody like Slayer, who I'm cool with, if you guys are familiar with him. Slayer is known to be a dodo bird, but he's got a mean gunny. And if that's the role that you play at a competitive level or in ranked, and that's what your job is, you're just a fragger, you're just a gun, just somebody who could shoot nice, then obviously you have to match that play style. But when it comes down to it, and the lobbies are sweaty, if that's the only thing that you're good with, you might end up costing your teammates some games. And Slayer's known for being a bonehead at times because he doesn't necessarily practice. And you don't have to practice that. Again, his role is just to get kills, is to shut up, take orders, and do damage. And so it's the IGL's job to effectively micromanage a player like that. But that's different for a competitive level because each person has their role that they play, and they're stuck within that role. But in ranked, it's like, especially if you're solo queuing, you have to be good with everything. You can't just be a good fragger solo queuing. You have to be good at leading your team. You have to be good at micromanaging. You have to be good with your aim. You have to be good with your movement, your decision making, all of that, because you're solo and you don't have anybody else to rely on. You sometimes say it's 2v1v1 or something like that. You just pay attention to the kill feed. If there's 3 squads alive, like last game that we just saw, that I just showed you, there's 3 squads alive, you're paying attention to the kill feed. You might not know exactly what person is dead on what team, but if you see somebody get thirsted, and you know at one point it was a 3v3v3, somebody gets thirsted, now it's a 3v3v2. Somebody else dies, and you pay attention to now exactly what team is dying. Maybe the team that got that kill initially, who's a 3-man, gets knocked in return, and they get thirsted. Now I know it's a 3v2v2, and each one of them have a man missing. There was another game for my game for Sparrow or Watson, the game that gets me Masters. We'll go to that one later. There's a situation where I revive my teammates, I get pushed, I do damage to Octane, I end up dying, but they kill the other 2 people, and there's only 1 person left on my team, but then the solo comes out away. And now at that moment I let my teammate know, chill out, it's just a 1v1v1. And the other 2 guys were actively engaged in a fight, so it's like, just let them finish that, take your attention to the last solo. And that's just all about paying attention to the sounds that you can hear, but also the kill feed and stuff like that. What up, Desmond? How you doing? What up, Blank? And again, as I'm pushing the third party, and this is something that you guys have to start practicing, you notice that they've already gotten knocks. Right now, I don't just initially. I'm not just pushing them. I'm Watson. If I commit to that fight, I don't have an escape. So I have an invisible line right here where I'm just trying to do damage, get a knock, to then follow up with a push, and that's what I do. Again, on a non-movement legend like Watson, a lot of you guys might play Caustic next season. That's something you guys are gonna have to practice. So he's ISO'd and he's weak as hell. So I'm gonna go look at him. But knowing that there's a team still inside the building, I have to take my attention to that building immediately. I'm not thirsting. A lot of bad players will get that knock right there and forget about everything else that just transpired behind them, around them. And that's when a lot of people die. Imagine if I just sat there trying to thirst and loot or something. That guy could have one-clipped me.
I can't open the doors. They're both in here. This door.
I just grabbed those nades to blow up those Watson doors so we don't have to worry about it later. Basically, I'll get to it later. Yeah. The example I just gave you. Maybe we'll have one this game, and I can show you. I don't know what happens this game. So we wiped them, whatever, cool. We effectively third-partied, right? That's something that I see constantly with you hard-stuck players. You have 3 people landing at the same POI. If that's the case, 3 teams. If that's the case, you don't want to chow the team off-rip at the same location in that POI. Those 2 teams landed right on top of each other. We're the only team that landed inside. So naturally, they're going to fight each other immediately and allow us to third-party them freely. I'm a good player. I know all of them are landing up top. I'm going to find a pocket within that POI where nobody is landing so I could be that third party. Then we kill all 6 of them, pretty much. And we do. They got 0 KP for that. We got all 6 of them. What a Baldo. Well, there's nothing you can do about that, Waldo. It's not common anymore, but during Watson and my Sparrow Bronze Master, there's been a couple times where you have people that will just land by themselves and avoid everything. There's literally nothing you can do about that. A game like that is, okay, well, we might as well just be 2-man no-filling, and we don't have a third teammate, so we can't rely on them for anything. One thing that those shitters are good at, though, is staying alive, because that's how they play every game. So a lot of the times, if I do have a teammate that broke off from us and is landing in the corner of the map by himself, and it's just me and another guy, we're just going to take a fight to hopefully get some KP. And I'm able to do that often. But in the event that we do die, that rat solo player is usually gets you revived up. That's the only thing they're good for. You can't rely on them at all. It doesn't happen as much as it used to, but in that situation, you can cuss them out. You can try to tell them come play with us, but they're so hard-headed they really won't listen to you. You rarely win those types of games, though. What up, Danny? Is Hearthstone Masters a problem? I think Hearthstone anything is a problem. If you haven't peaked at the highest rank, then yeah. What up, Sonic? Charlie, thing to follow. Braylon, thing to follow.
If I look up like that, it should put it further away, not closer. Anybody get my
Thank you for following, guys. Welcome in. What up, Rack? I think Hearthstone is Hearthstone anything is bad. Gold, silver, masters. You can't be Hearthstone pred. You could be. People joke about it, but that's the highest rank you can get. You can't go beyond that. So there's no such thing as Hearthstone pred. But if you're Hearthstone anything, you've been Hearthstone for years at that particular rank, and you've never gotten past it, then yeah, that shows that you've plateaued. Emmett, I don't know who you're talking about. That Wraith is by herself. We get the knock. I'm looking for the rest of his teammates. I'm not even worried about thirsting right now. That's one thing that I'll see poorer players do. As soon as they get that knock, they'll just go straight to thirsting. No, survey the area. Gather some information. Obviously, one of his teammates is right there, because why is the Wraith here? And when I knocked her, she didn't die immediately, so her teammates must be near, hypothetically. So instead of looking for her to thirst, go find her teammates and do damage on them, and we get that knock over there. Always land with teammates. Merc, always. I always land with them, even when they throw, even when they lie. The most common thing I see, and this helps us solo players out more than anything. This will help you. with the removal of the dropship, and now that we have dedicated POIs that we land at, I guess you still can get landed on by maybe a team next to you, but at that point you'll probably have that whole entire POI to yourself, so you don't have to worry about your teammates throwing. But a lot of the times right now, and since the beginning of the game, solo queuers will sit there and land. There could be 2 teams here, 3 teams here, and for whatever fucking reason they want to land straight on them every time. I still land with them, but I'll land safely. My brain is not wired to go push stupid shit like that. I never will. There could be a fair 3v3 right here. You see it all the time on a lava siphon on World's Edge. You have one loot spot here, the middle spot here, command center right here, and the back spot right here. Those are 4 different areas to land at. So when I see my teammates and 2 other teams landing all at the middle one, I will never land there. So I can understand what you're saying, but I still land in that same POI. I just land somewhere safe so that when they inevitably die, I can get out of there and go craft them. I just realized it was a different team. I just realized it was a different Wraith. Azra, my biggest issue with solo queuing is the fact that I'm the best player on every team that I play on. Call it egotistical, call it whatever you want. That's the fact when I'm solo queuing. Why are my random teammates allowed to pick their legends before me, and why are they getting jump master? The best player on that team, statistically, I guess you could say, should always get the first choice of legends and the first choice of jump master. Always. And if that was a thing, that would have saved me so much. Because I can't tell you how many times, let's say if I'm doing, eventually, like next season, I'm going to do a Bangalore solo to Masters. Bangalore's going to be one of the strongest legends in the game. Why do I have to worry about John taking my character away from me? He's going to die off rip and do nothing with that character. And now I'm forced to play some random-ass character that I'm not supposed to be playing because I'm doing content. But regardless, they're taking the strongest legends. The biggest thing was with Ashe. Why are you playing Ashe, the most aggressive character in the game, and you're not an entry fragger, and all you do is run from fights, and as soon as you do get in a fight, you die? You're not only affecting yourself, but you're affecting your entire team now. And that's why I always said the highest KD or the highest person statistically should be getting that first choice every time. Because it's not just affecting, it's not because I want that legend to myself. I want that legend to myself because, one, they're the strongest legend or something, and I know I'm the best player on the team. Why are we letting John take that legend away from me? And then when it comes to Jump Master, all these dipshits love to drop on straight on a team. We have a whole POI to land at and loot at. They want to go straight 50-50 on the same building as this other team landing there. Why? Again, you're not just affecting yourself, you're affecting your entire team. The highest person statistically on that team should be getting the Jump Master every time. But we don't have to worry about that, so.
There's another one?
That's what makes solo queuing so hard. Because once your teammates die off rip, now you gotta go craft and put you behind your rotation, your loot, kills, everything. And it just puts you back. That's one of the biggest issues with solo queuing. What up, Sonic? The shit have you been playing anymore? Basic? Fuck John. I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me, Azra. No dropships is beautiful. But then again, you still have the issue. If I'm solo queuing and I'm going to do Bangalore, people are going to take Bangalore. You know, I still have to deal with that. That's just the nature of the game. I don't see why anybody would argue differently. The best person on your team should get the first choice of legend because they are the best. And hypothetically, they will perform the best with whatever legend they choose first because they're the best player on that team. Why should we let somebody with a .79 KD get first choice and they take the best legend? And if that pisses you off, get better. Simple as that. That pisses you off, improve your KD so that you can get first choice. But the average KD is probably around 1, which is horrible. Ranked or even unranked, the entire game is probably about like a 1 something. What up, Ruski? What up, Sap? What up, Jay? The worst player should get the first pick due to lack of experience? Nah, I don't agree with that notion at all. I get what you're saying. You think the worst person on the team should have the strongest legend to help give them the largest benefit. They have to abuse those abilities or whatever it is to compensate for their lack of skill. But when it comes to something like solo queuing, where I'm responsible for everything, I'm the playmaker in every aspect. Every game that we've ever won, out of every solo queue game I've ever played, I've probably been out damaged only a handful of times out of thousands and thousands of games solo queue. What that highlights is the fact that I'm the one doing everything on every game at every rank that I play when I'm solo queuing, no matter what legend I'm on. And so yeah, maybe they could use the extra help by playing somebody like Ashe. But because they're so poor in skill, they're not utilizing that character properly. Ashe has a role associated with her. That's a way that she's meant to be played. She is a hard, aggressive legend whose responsibility is to be an entry fragger and to cause chaos and disruption with portals and everything. And that's what she provides. If you are a bad player and your KD is low, your stats are poor, that shows me that obviously you're not good at entry fragging, if that's what you're even trying to do. And a lot of the times you'll see these people that use a legend like Ashe, but they're completely defensive. They're not aggressing anything. They're not the first one initiating the fight. That's what Ashe is designed to do. So if there's a mismatch in your playstyle and your legend, then you're, again, not just fucking it over yourself, but you're fucking over your entire team. And that legend would be much better in the hands of somebody that knows how to play that legend. I rest my case. To give the shittiest player the legend on your team is to die every single time. What up, bro? Yeah. I think I dropped a 4K that game. You were shooting nukes, bro, or what? HU out damaged you in PUBG match? No, you didn't. I literally killed everybody that entire game, dropped like 3K damage. He literally said, this game is so boring, Scrappy's just killing everybody. Not that that means anything, but your point is wrong. You'll notice right here, when he pushes like this, my teammate, this is kind of a stupid push. We did 0 damage on this team. I guess he cracked him. And I cracked that guy, so he's very weak. But then we have to pop it back because I get kidnapped. When he crosses the zip line, this wasn't a fight that I was necessarily prepared for, because at this point they're probably full health. But he pushes. I have to back him up. You have to back up your teammate in a situation like this at this point. Because at least in this situation, nobody's right here. If there's a whole team of 3 right here and he's ziplining across, not only is he dead, but I'm also not following up with that. But because he's pushing and nobody's up there, you have to back that up. Our third is nowhere near us, though, so it's just a 2v3. Our teammate's not aware that our teammate is way over here looting the light thing over there. So I have to back him up, or else he's guaranteed dead. He was guaranteed dead either way. He didn't get any knock, but at least I was here to back him up. Sometimes, what up, Flom? Give me a second. Sometimes, I already talked about that earlier. We'll talk about it more tomorrow. Sometimes there will be situations, what up, Stewie, where it's just better to push together as a team, even if it's a stupid push. There are many instances over the years I can think of where there's really no option that we have. There's a team over here, endgame specifically. There's a team over here, a team there, a team there. And we have to rotate towards them. There's almost nothing that we could do. So we pick one thing, and we push all 3 of us together. A stupid play is only stupid if you guys are doing it individually. But a stupid play can end up being a good play if all 3 of you are communicating and playing right next to each other. He pushes without saying a word. I got to go back him up. This is a stupid push because our teammate is so far away. But because I back him up, at least I'm able to get that squad wipe. If I don't push that, he gets knocked. He's dead. My teammate's nowhere near me. We probably just have to back up. Yeah, Dally, I mean, if you're always using LMGs, somebody like Rampart might help you, but it's a harder legend to play when solo queuing. Well, they were all weak, Professor. You have to think, the reason why that fight was... the reason why this was fightable is because I had that Ash one tap, and he had just cracked the Mirage right before that. So they all fell off. They're bad players, right? A good team wouldn't vacate that high ground, so they couldn't try to climb up and hold an angle on that zipline because all three of them were healing. And I think my alter obviously recognized that, but if that's a good team, we're dead every time. He died regardless. They're a bad team. He still died. And my movement legends are always fine. You should always be playing movement characters when solo queuing. And there's many of them. That's my philosophy. I have yet for anybody to argue differently. At least right now. Maybe next season, and where hopefully next season is not so kill based. Based on what I see about the next season for ranked, it should be more about rotates and avoiding fights and making it to end game. If that's the case, then you might be able to solo queue as a controller legend, because that's what that rank system permits. But right now, and for the last year or two, with this kill-based rank system, you need kills to get points. It'd be best for you to, and everything is getting third party, fourth party, fifth party on every map, and so you need movement to be able to create distance, take up space, and do all of that. Help your teammates out from if you're far from them, if you're split from them, you know, teleport over there or something, or to run away if you guys get overran. Because it's such a chaotic rank system right now. Nobody's rotating. Look at them; they're fighting in zone. We push them because we're right there. We're going to fight them in zone. And movement is your best chance of getting out of situations like this. Because if you're playing Watson like in this season, like I was with this rank system, that's kill based. There's a lot of times where my teammates die. I should never be the last one alive as a Watson, but that's solo queuing. And if that's the case, then having no movement to help me get out of that situation is difficult for a lot of people. I'm able to do that because I know how to play the game, but most people don't know how to do that, especially without any movement. But maybe next season, if the rank system it plays out the right way, then maybe you can get away playing controller legends. Does Mirage count? Mirage isn't the greatest solo. No, he's support. He doesn't have movement, and he won't be able to control any area next season, which will be important. Mirage is a hard legend to solo queue as. He's good for, obviously, resets. I potato everything here, bro. Cosmic Bane, Rev, or Ash. I think you'll see a lot of that, yeah. More Ash than Rev. Ash will be the #1 pick rate, so. You see my teammates common well. That's rare. Teammates not with us, as usual. So I have to kind of play a little bit weird. She's just going to go portal phase out. I don't need to chase. Focus on getting this revive. Which I don't do, I think. But like in higher lobbies, I would have. We don't have Moby. We don't have a support character, so that's why. I am a support character, though. I don't know. I guess there probably was a Moby in his box. But I guess I don't check. We res him at the top of cage. This random team pushes us. This shit is going to happen all the time in games like this, where a random team is going to be rotating out of zone, and shit don't make sense. And it's up to you to just do what you can to survive. My team is going to res. I'm going to rotate up here so I can go res, and all of a sudden there's just a team here. What can you do? I get a knock. Beautiful. I hear a guy behind me. I look at him. I almost die here. My teammate backs me up, though. Don't know where his third is. Could be coming from Storm as well, so I look behind me. He's not, so we just get these thirsts, and then we go and revive. Rate's bad. Loba's a lot better for solo queuing. Xander, that's what I'm going over right now. I think I'm going to be live at 10 o'clock tomorrow
You may shoot him.
when the season comes out.
Oh shit. He on the ground.
I think I'll need an account still. I'll be playing Bang solo. And then after her, I'll do Caustic because they're the ones receiving the changes. So this is something I want you guys to be aware of. In round 3 like this, we got a beautiful scan, so nobody's here. But if we didn't have a scan legend, we want to revive at this beacon right here, obviously. But if you pay attention to the circle right now, there's a way for you to get pushed on the left side and the right side, and everything's in zone. This is a position you never want to be in. It's always good for you to be in a position where you only have to focus on one angle, whatever is directly in front of you. But in a situation right now, we're fine because nobody's here. We do see a team rotating here. But just be wary of your positioning. You're safe here. There's nobody behind you, but there are 2 ways that you can be pushed from. You want to eliminate that and play in areas where there's only one place you have to focus on. And if you don't have that, then that's something you want to work towards. But we don't really have a choice. There's a team to the far left, actually. I don't know why they didn't get scanned. There's a team to the far right. Nonetheless, we have to revive here, so we have to stay a little bit. But in a situation like this, again, you don't want to be positioned in a place where you could be flanked on each side, so you commit to one way or the other. And that'll depend on whatever's going on around you. This team just res. I get that, guys. Semi-weak. And so I push down this hill. The point of that is to create space. It's not going to prevent a team from pushing you from your backside, but it's going to create more distance between you and that other team that could be flanking. So I'll slide down this hill. Knowing that the Rev and Loba just braced it out, the Wraith just got revived, she's not going to have a Q, so she's by herself. So we'll just get rid of her. Pushes like this help you in the long run. There's less people for you have to worry about. It's more broken up teams that you have to deal with later. So that team's got to go revive him or something, but at the end of the day, they're a duo now. So we don't have to find them anymore. We don't have to really worry about them. We have this whole spot to ourselves now. Now, eventually, what we're playing right now, you'll see exactly what I was talking about just a second ago. We're not positioned in the middle. We're not positioned on the backside. We're going to stay right here where nobody else is, and we have all of this real estate to ourselves. So the only thing we have to worry about is in front of us. You see all this space. Somebody revived over here. Someone's pushing me too. Shots were horrible.
Behind us.
Teammate comes behind us. You listen to your teammates. He was wrong. Nobody was behind us. But again, it's just... That's the hardest thing about solo queuing. If you don't have a team to play with, then you're solo queuing, and that usually means that nobody's communicating. But even if it's a bad comm, you know, just practice listening to your teammates. You never know. So I listen to my teammates all the time. Even though I IGL and I'll tell them what to do, they still have the equal say, equal opportunity to give comms, and you should still listen to them. Even if they're bad, they still could be right. So that guy's won. Again, I want to force this fight here because I want to get rid of them, and I want to have this entire backside of this circle to ourselves, and an invisible line would be somewhere like 15, 20 meters in front of me, and then we have that whole hemisphere of the circle to play with. With this team to our right and teams to our left, we could be pushed from both angles, and we'd have to play we'd have a lot less space to take up. So I want to clear this entire side out. So you obviously hear people on the back side of them. That tells you where you should push if you're going to push. You push on this side so that they don't have a line of sight on you. A lot of people don't understand that. They'll hear somebody shooting from that angle over there and still push on the front side of that rock. And now you're opening up an angle for yourself to be shot from. And that's what bad players will do mistakenly all the time. So now we have this team rotating here. Now we're in the same position that I was in a second ago. We could be pushed from the right, pushed from the left. There's not a lot of cover anywhere here. But we also don't have like Ash. We don't have a legend that can take us to high ground, all three of us. So we have to play a little different here. We do want that team to the left out of the game, because we don't want to be playing down here. Again, we want to consume as much space as possible. The Arnett's gonna suck. But again, if I'm a movement character, I would have pressured that team as soon as they revive, but I can't. I'm Watson, so you have to play differently. For those of you that don't use movement legends, note it would be important for you to pay attention to my playstyle. I'm limited. Watson's a horrible legend. So that guy's weak. Now he's not really. He was initially shooting at the team there because I have him so weak. He's going to be healing now, so that grants us an opportunity to try and push this team here without having to worry about him shooting at us. But even then, I still get shot from that way. But the Ash is pretty weak. Basic, I don't know if you're here right now. But you asked me earlier, Scrappy, how do you know when a team's getting knocked or whatever? Well, you listen for the sound that's being emitted from the enemy's gun. Each gun makes its own distinct noise. You listen for a directionality. Where is that gun being shot from? That team to the far right, after I got that Ash weak, just knocked that Ash, and I know that because I hear Hemlock shots being shot from right to left, and then I look in the kill feed and I see a Hemlock on the screen, and I hear the guy also get shot at and be knocked right above me. So he just knocked that Ash that I just got weak. And then you pay attention to his name. So you know this CCO2. I don't know what legend he is. I can't know. I could assume maybe the Pathfinder, but probably not. So you know that guy just from the right side on the Pathfinder team that I just got weak knocked that Ash above me. And then you'll see in a second here he gets another knock. So now that lets you know that there's only one guy alive above you. Just 5 seconds ago was all three of them. Now just one. So that's not a fight that I'm worried about anymore. Let them reset. Let them do whatever. We could chow them and get rid of them. That works fine too. But we're getting flanked this side too. And I don't want this team to come and pinch us. If I go and thirst that team and we get rid of that team and all three of us are up there, now both of these teams are going to take angles on the right and left side of us and pinch us and make it very difficult for us to rotate. So it's important for me to play over here to take up this space so that the enemy team can't converge onto us and effectively pinch us from there. But again, I'm Watson. I don't have the ability to escape. I don't have the ability to do anything with my abilities here. So I'm telling my teammates, I need your help right now. And he gets Mirage pretty weak and ends up knocking him. Beautiful shots for a Platinum player. And I understand I'm by myself right now. But now it's just one more. He already knocked the other guy. I'm in a 1v1. He's reviving still. So they're dead. So now there's one solo. Maybe a duo. Maybe they all revived. Who cares? But now the other team is fighting them. They did revive because this is the Ash right here. Or the Rev. Again, you remember the same name. The Pathfinder was the same Pathfinder that knocked them, two of them earlier. So they both got revived. And now they're in a fight with them. And that was the Ash from earlier that I chowed. That got knocked by the CC guy. Now it's a 3v3. Notice my pacing right here. I finished that other team. They're knocking the team that they already knocked, but they reset, so they're in a new fight with them again. Notice my pacing to try and get them while they're distracted. And I almost get the Pathfinder knocked, but I couldn't. And so now it's a fair 3v3. He's going to reset. Now we have to play a little differently. And this is where Watson is horrible, especially on this map. If I get the Ash cracked. Honestly, this other team kind of played it well, but I pick them apart still because they didn't play great, but they didn't play horribly either here. I'm obviously just better than them. And my teammates were too. It's always important for you to... Would avoid the follow-up. Sonny, you can ask me anything. It's important for you to always be aware of your teammates' health and their positioning relative to you. So I know that my teammate is pretty weak. So for the next 5 seconds, he's going to be healing. So I know I don't have that support. In this moment right now, it's a 3v2. That's why I'm not overextending. My teammate just canceled his heal for God knows what reason. And that wastes a lot more time. But me and my teammate really played this well. We essentially 2v3 them. And that was my 20 bomb 6K game. A lot of people, When it's a 2v2, you don't have to worry about third parties or anything. It's important for you to get aggressive, but not get so aggressive to the point where you're throwing. Utilize cover. All we're doing right here is just peeking and poking damage, making them weak, putting them on the defense. Again, this is a 3v2. He was going crazy with his PK. Our teammate was not in this fight at all at any point. But while we're pushing up towards them, again, we're not just brain dead inting towards them. We're patient. We're aggressing, but then we're holding behind cover, a head glitch to do damage. We do damage, we get a crack, we continue pushing. If we didn't get any damage done right there, we can't push. But because we were able to effectively do a lot of damage and distribute a lot of damage on them right there, even as a duo, we were still able to put a lot of pressure on them and then win the game from there. Let's see if we can go to like a diamond game or something. Here we go. What a dope. Let me see this game. How's it end? This is a good game. It's a good game. I'm pretty sure we got overran at containment. So yeah, they were playing weird. I think there was a team on 82 sniping at us. The other team was just sniping at us. You just rotate. You can't always force it, no matter how good you are. This is a pretty boring game. Obviously, we have no kills, no damage. I think this is a good fight to go over. I always say you have to know what fights you should take and what fights you shouldn't take. There's obviously a team of 3 up here, but this really isn't a fight that we must absolutely necessarily take. They all have triple long range. They all have high ground advantage. I'm Watson, so it's not like I can close that distance quickly. You'll see we'll sit here and poke damage. They'll poke damage too, but I'm looking to push. I'm seeing if there's any opening, but there really wasn't anything for me here. They were just playing so weird. With a more aggressive comp, like if we had an Ash or something, we could port on them and fight them from there, but we have a Ballistic and a Rev. They can move, but I can't. And so if I overcommit and cross that invisible line, I'm probably dead. And they're all pre-positioned up there, so eventually we just run away. You can get a feel for how certain types of people play. If they're not aggressing us and they have the high ground advantage or something like that, then there's really no need to push them at all. It's not like we have to rotate that way anyways. Sonic, stop saying that word, bro. What a report. Yeah, you're horrible. Sonic, what was your question? So we just rotate. Again, you'll notice every push that I put, everything that I push with Watson is smart. Because I don't want to have to commit to something where I can't escape because I'm Watson. I don't have movement. So I decide to land up here. Plus circle is going to end up closing towards us anyways here. So we essentially have God spot. So you fortify, you play your legend as you should. We still have 0 kills. I have 48 damage going into the top 10. Other team took the kill. Look at this guy though. My teammates weren't the greatest here. What is Rainbow Dash doing? I understand they're getting revived, but I know 100 meters behind you that as I was shooting that Mirage, a team from the left killed him, which we had no information on. But you can see their bullets, you see the kill feed, so you know that there's a team here. I had to tell him that there's a fucking team to your left while you're pushing in the wide open right here. I saved his life. But it's like, what are you even doing down there? And what is the Ballistic doing on absolute low ground? And that's what I'm saying right now. It did piss me off. What are you guys doing? There's another team here too. Zone is on us. What are you guys? What are we thinking? Eventually they make their way back towards me. But that's what I say. You see a lot of Diamond players do stupid shit like that. You can yell at them, you can tell them what to do, but sometimes they just have a mind of their own. But either way, I'm not backing them up in a stupid position like that. I stay here. Because if shit gets wicked, how do I get out as a Watson? So again, notice my playstyle is completely different with Watson compared to Sparrow. And it'll be very different from Bangalore as well. So this is an interesting push. We know that there's a team on our backside. And we're safe where we're at, but we have 0 KP. We need kills in this system. Why am I pushing this? Well, you can assume that a lot of people that sit inside of a building the entire game are probably bad. They have blue armor because I was shooting at them, so we have the armor advantage here. This is just an easy push for us to get some kills, hopefully. Knowing that we could get third party, knowing that we could die, but this is a fight that you have to take. We have the advantage completely with our armor and weapons and loot. You see them port away. One of them gets weak. Or knocked and weak. And I say don't chase, but there's nobody over here. So we'll go chase him. We'll get those kills. We'll get this loot. Perfect. Now we finally have kills. Maybe if we had like 15 kills already, we probably wouldn't have pushed that. There's really no need to. And there would definitely be no need for me to do this right here. But I got one knocked. They're mispositioned. I don't have to worry about them later, so we'll just get them out of the game. But then I'm Watson, right? So it's like I can't sit there and keep looting. I got to go. There's going to be a team that looks at my team right now. That's how I play with Watson. That's why my stats were so good. And I'm telling my team, you guys need to get the fuck back up here. Because this is where we need to play from. Alright, reporter. See you later. Triple take's nice. I like it in the care pack, though. It's really good. I would never use it if it weren't in the care pack. Like, why is Ballistic still down there still? You don't have movement. So I have to watch for him so he can get up here. He takes the evac up. I'm glad he put that down. So now we're all where we need to be. We effectively took out our threats to the left. If we didn't take them out earlier, they would have just been shooting at us the entire time. We couldn't play like where we're playing right now. That's why we wanted to get rid of them. So now we only have to worry about what's in front of us. This team pushed horribly. This team is going to be followed by another team, that Bang team. There's probably somebody in here. For them to have committed to this fight is just airhead play. And that's what you see a lot of diamonds do. There's no need for you to take this fight at all. At all. And it was just a duo, I think. That was all three of them. I go take my attention. We knocked two. There's still one more. I'm not worried about that last guy. My teammates can handle that. I want to prevent this team from pushing us immediately. So I respect them over here and get some damage to slow them down. That's just general awareness again. No creep. Yeah, creep. Yeah. Well, when they're standing still, you have that ability to. I'll miss my Kraber shot in the door right here. I'm communicating with my team. It's like they're rotating here. We want to look at them to prevent them getting in that building, but my teammates are looting and doing whatever. So whatever, they got in that building. That's cool. It's not that big of a deal. We'll just have to worry about them later. Teammates are so unaware, bro. I pinged this like a million times. They finally give me some energy ammo. We end up getting pushed by that Bang team. That Ash is a solo Ash. I let my teammate know he's coming towards you, so you should be able to kill him. But even then, my teammate should not be outside of the building. He crossed that invisible line, as I keep talking about, and watch him get punished for it. He almost dies as a result. He's safe, but it's like, watch our ballistic as well. Now he's getting pushed. If I don't watch this angle for him, he's dead. Thank God I know what I'm doing.
Back up.
But the teammates always, it's little things like that. Yes, we're alive. Yes, we're healthy. We're all together finally. But if we were just all together at every point, we're not, we wouldn't get aped that hard. None of us were looking at angles. They're just sitting outside looting. I don't know why. They kept making stupid plays like that. Now this team is really forcing a fight. And again, remember what I say. Even when a team's forcing a fight like this, and we're playing as Watson, so I don't have a lot of utility, I'm always pushing from different angles. Watch me climb up here and get this angle on the rev and open up this fight. That's your responsibility as a solo queue player, because everybody is so bad If I don't know, if I don't do that, who knows how this fight ends up.
Rev dead. Push out, push out. Fight the same.
But again, that's a moment where you get that knock, now you have to push. I don't care what's going on. You need to push and get rid of this team now. I created the opening. My teammates played well. Perfect. And now it's just the last squad we have to worry about because the other team was fighting at the same time. And when you find yourself in a fair 3v3 like this, you need to go take space. I'm telling my teammates to go take space while I loot up because I need some energy ammo. Look how we beat this. Right here really highlights the importance of taking up space. And I'll show you why it's important. Not only do we have this cover here, but because we push before them, they're confined to just this small area right here, whereas we have this entire place to play from. The more space that you take, the more angles you're able to take on that enemy team, and that will, if you're playing those angles properly, that's going to continue pushing that team closer and closer together. So now they have less space to take, and now they're holding less angles, and that's exactly what happens right here. If we let them get this position, then we would have been in their position. We get the knock, and it's just time to push. There's nothing else you really need to do in that situation right there. I still miss you. I was mad that I missed. But they got some angles on the lifeline, so it worked out. I love when you talk to your hands. Yeah, I'm like Italian or something, even though I'm not. What happens this game? Oh, this is a beautiful one to go over. So we don't have to worry about World's Edge next season, but maybe we do at the split. World's Edge zones will always, a lot of times will end in Skyhook. We don't really have to worry about anything until Skyhook. Another no kill, no damage game halfway through. Right here, when you see teams fighting out of storm or out of zone like this, this is an opportunistic third party that you have to take. It's just easy kills, it's easy loot. You can assume that most of the time there won't be a team following behind you. We were just over there, nobody was there. Sometimes they might, but not all the time. So these are just idiots you want to get rid of. You want to fight on the edge of zone like this? Okay. I get shot by a solo Wraith here. I end up doing a lot of damage to her, and I end up getting that kill. I don't need to push her here, but she pissed me off because it's like, what are you doing? You're already fighting a dumbass fight, and your teammates are all dead, and you want to look at us for what reason? All three of us are up. If you didn't shoot at us, you could have just rotated, crafted through tunnel, you'd been fine. But now you pissed me off. You pissed me off because of how stupid you are. Like I said, you could have ran away when you had the chance, but you just want to be a moron. That's why your heart's stuck diamond still. For you guys in a situation like that, that's where you just rotate. Go craft. Why are you looking at us? Maybe if they got trades against us and we got knocked, maybe. But all three of us are alive and healthy. What are you doing? That's just the dummy diamond play. He was probably fed up. So this is obviously a skyhook pull. Skyhook pulls are very common on World's Edge, and they usually have a lot of teams alive. Not right now though, but they usually do have a lot of teams alive because there's so many buildings to play. And even though there's only 6 squads alive, they're all fighting right now, but I don't think anybody really dies. Like at all. This entire end game. That's typical with Skyhook. And in a season like next season, there usually be like probably 15 squads alive. You know, in sweaty seasons like season 13, the infamous difficult season, split 2 was World's Edge. I don't think we had 3 maps in rotation. I think it was 1 map still for each split. Stormpoint was the first one. World's Edge was the second one. Even though the second split wasn't as hard as the first split, in a season like that, you would have 10 plus squads alive right now in Skyhook. And so you always expect that in this pool. One team did die. Skyhook's probably one of my favorite POIs of all time. And they've never changed it either. Alright, so this is good. So we're stuck here. We're in zone. This other team is not in zone. Outside. I did major damage to them, but we don't really need to worry about anything. But for whatever reason, this diamond team ports right on us and pushes us. So they force this fight. Again, there's going to be some times where you force fights that you don't want to take, and there'll be even more times where a dummy team just forced the fight for no reason. They had this whole other... They could have rotated to the building to our left right here. No, they want to push right on us. Okay, you're going to get punished because it's a stupid push. Just bad players, just bad diamond players. And they're part of Young Jit clan, whatever that is. J Bands put them on a stretcher. Yeah, alright. So we get third partied. I'm telling my teammates to stay on the roof. That's what you want to do when you get third partied in a building like this. Work your way up from top down. Never the other way. We got that knock. When you have a lifeline on the team, it's something you have to, really get aggressive with. You don't want them to fully reset. You get a beautiful knock right there. Go and push them. Watson's beautiful on this map in this POI. The team that we killed, the Ash in Newcastle, is getting revived right now. There's nothing that we could really do about that. Now at this point, you have to. This is where you put your awareness, map awareness, zone awareness into play. Zone's gonna end over there. Zone doesn't end over there. But market's not playable for the next zone. And Diner, even though I don't know if somebody's there, you have to assume that somebody's going to be playing Diner, which is safe. And then you also have to assume that somebody's going to be in the building right next to them. And that would account for everybody. The team to the far right just revived. We're here. The other two teams have to be over there. One in each building. So the only play we have, and we want to do this early rather than later, to get position here where we are in zone and we have some cover. It's not the greatest cover, but it's just a bad zone. This is all we have to work with right now. But that team that revived to the right of us, we don't want to continue pushing up. We don't want to play over there. We don't want to play on the roof because this team to the right we have to respect. They could come and flank us right now. So I'm telling my teammates we need to be looking to the right this entire time. Once the zone closes, we don't have to worry about them anymore. By focusing our efforts to the right, that's going to force them into this fight that we end up third partying in a second here. If we just randomly continue pushing forward, they could have wrapped us perfectly. They have a great zone to play, and then we would have died for sure. So you see that Ash kind of dash over to us. I'm still just spamming pings to my teammates. We need to respect this right. That's our biggest threat right now. I'm not worried about anything to the left of me right now. I want this right team to go left. And that's how you dictate the behavior of the enemy teams. Again, that's just general awareness. What up, Coag? What up, everything? What up, Danny? We'll find out. I'm not reviewing chat's gameplays tonight, I don't think, Ellie. If nobody has the ability to drop me a 20-minute clip. Maybe some people do, but not enough. So at this point, team on the right that revived, we did everything we needed to do. They didn't push us, and we forced them to the left and forced them to fight this fight right here. At this point, two teams are in there. One team's in here. We have a free walk-up. We want to consume all that space and third party this team. You'll see it gets chaotic, though, with how bad my teammates play this. You just want to stay right here. Stay right here. I'll fence up in a second. Just stay here. We'll get this team out of here. Perfect. Just stay here. He got shot through the window. My teammate gets shot through the window. Shit it on. They're reviving. I'm trying to cancel that, but again, they're just shooting me through that window. I get chowed here. Thank God I fenced already. She couldn't push me, so at this point you just revive. But then a random Watson pushes me. She gets sat down. Watson pushes me again. I'm going to pop this bat off. Put a fence down so she can no longer push me from that climb up, which I didn't even know was a thing. I don't know how she's doing that. And then just reset. Playing ranked? No, not today. I'll play tomorrow. What up, Blink? He gets a beautiful knock right here. And I'm looking at an angle. Notice how I play cover. This is the biggest mistake that diamond players, gold players, pred players, masters players make all the time. Notice how I utilize my cover right here. I don't run into that building knowing that there's teams fighting there. I stay right by this door so that I could do damage. Look, I'm still shooting. And now I'm shooting at the door. That's how tight I stayed next to that cover. Watch what my Loba teammate does here. Just walks in. Run, slides, and jump right in. Why? Why would you ever think about doing that? That's a mistake that a lot of diamonds players will do. You guys need to start practicing jiggle peeking, which is standing next to a cover, moving out no more than a meter past that cover so that you can minimize the amount of damage taken while you rotate back to that cover, and you keep jiggling that cover over and over and over again. I get fried on my back, same angle that my teammates died from earlier, but my teammate wipes them perfect. Now, we don't know that this is a solo because it got so chaotic there. I didn't know this was a solo, but you have to assume that this is a 3-stack. Yeah, I'll play PC solo tomorrow. You always make these assumptions. You assume the worst. I'm assuming that this third party right now is a full 3-stack. It only ended up being a solo. But it's that mentality. It's those assumptions that will keep you healthy. That was a beautiful portal. I didn't even know you could portal through the windows like that. But if that is a 3-stack, that portal play was perfect. If we knew that was a solo, we could have just jumped on her. But there wasn't enough information that we gathered that would let us know that's a solo. But right now, you only see one Watson this whole time. You only hear one pair of footsteps. I knew about 3 seconds earlier that it was probably just a solo, so that was an easy win.
That's where Watson's good. What did I say? The only...
We can go to my Masters game, and I'll probably get off after. I'm going to go pee real quick. No, I think there would be differences. I talked about it in the beginning of the stream, Jeff. You could go back and watch it afterwards. I'll be right back. Alright, last one, guys. I'm going to get off. I'll be on at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, I'm just coaching. Yeah, I talked about the changes, bro. People are worried about, a lot of people, a few pro players were complaining that because there's no kill cap, we're not going to get the results that we want for this season. But I think with all the changes, if we look at everything, I think it will still produce those results that they're wishing for. I think the biggest one that is going to slow down the pace of the game is the removal of dropships. I think that with the removal of dropships, obviously there will be no POI that has more than probably 2 teams at most. Right now, and for years since the beginning of the game, there are POIs that have 5+ teams that go there. And then by the time they all die, and by the time you rotate in the next zone, there's probably 10, 12 squads left. That will be impossible next season. Because you have to think about what it means. Why, if zone's over here, round 1 zone's over here, and you're on the corner of the map over here, why would you negatively rotate to a further away POI to go kill that team over there when your rotation needs to be this way? That would just be a stupid push. So we can assume that people won't do stupid stuff like that. And then also the same is if there's one team at every POI, there's not going to be a single POI that's untouched. So we can assume that there's going to be teams surrounded every single way. That's not the case right now. With the dropship, you'll have 5-7 teams land at the same POI, which leaves 5 to 7 POIs completely untouched. So you can rotate, go loot, and do other stuff. But that's not going to be a thing next season. So every direction of your rotation next season, there's going to be someone along that same path as you. To take a fight right there means that everybody else that's rotating behind you to get to the next zone will be able to third party you. So when it comes to their playstyle, we shouldn't see people taking these fights even after they've looted that POI and now are on to their next rotation. Naturally, you're going to have people fight on the edge of that zone, gatekeeping you or meeting you there with your rotation. But Either way, you're not going to have places where you have 5-6 teams fighting at once. Everybody's going to be evenly spread out all throughout the map. You're going to have a lot of people playing controller legends that are going to be playing zone, hard zone, all throughout the game. With the removal of heat shields, you're going to have less people in round 1 and round 2 and almost nobody in round 3 zone. And so you won't have to. So that's going to force people to play in zone more because you don't have heat shields. Obviously, round 1 and round 2 are easy to survive without heat shields. You don't need it for that. So I don't see huge effects there. But once it comes round 3, you can bet your ass every single person is going to be in zone. That's not the case right now. With heat shields, with Lobo ults, with med kits, again, I could be in zone 3 the entire duration of zone 3. And I have many times. Zone 3 next season with no heat shields, you can't be in that zone at all, no matter what you want. I could survive zone 3, I'm not going to lie. I could survive zone 3 with them. I could be 300 meters away. If I have 4 med kits, I'll be good. Because you could pop a med kit off after 4 ticks of zone 3 and get it off every time. So you still can be in zone 3, but it's not going to be likely anymore. I think next season, even though we don't have a hard kill cap, I think we'll be fine. We also have an increase in placement points slightly and a decrease in kill points slightly. I wish it was more, but I think with all of these changes, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be really good. Shania, thank you for the follow. How you doing? Best taco recommendation in LA? Angels Tijuana Tacos, right next to the Dodgers Stadium. Are you boosting accounts? Nah. Are HS still in pubs? Heat shields? Probably. Oh, Eliana. Okay, I'll give it to you. I didn't know you had a month. Anyways, we're going to do this last one, and then I'm going to get off. Theoretically, I can say with good faith that we will see a 180 shift in how ranked is being played out next season. But you never know. You never know. Kills are still worth a lot. This is my Masters game. For Watson, we'll go over this one. What up, Sonic? So we're just looting. Nobody's here. Whatever. Cool. Another slow game off rip. We got a random lifeline kill here. Perfect. Now we're third partying. You want to take these opportunistic third parties. You will see a lot of these edge fights next season. I stunned that guy as soon as he pushed me, bro. My positioning right there was terrible. I stuck too far out to the left. If anybody peeked that door to my left, I would have died. But I didn't expect that ballistic to be up there. And he was running away, then he came back for whatever reason. And now he dies for it because he stayed put. My teammates weren't bad, I'm not going to lie. They just crumbled at the end. I'm not going to lie. They crumbled horribly. What up, TJ? So we third party, we get kills, we get loot. Perfect. Nothing else we really need to do. Nothing else to really say. 2 of these people do get away, though. They stay put. We aggress them. This guy gets really weak. The Ash stays here. I clip her on something disgusting. My teammate got the Revenant kill. Perfect. Even more kills. I want to... This is, again, general awareness that is very difficult to teach and is very difficult to practice if you don't know what I'm talking about. I put that evac down immediately to go back to the loot that we were at. But knowing how people play and knowing the position of where that loot is, I'm assuming that we could be getting gate kept. There's no indication that would lead me to believe that I am getting gate kept. I didn't hear anybody else. I don't see anybody else as I'm flying in. I'm just assuming that. And you'll see how those assumptions that you make help you out a lot. Maybe there's nobody there, but just do your due diligence. Cross your T's and dot your I's. Instead of just going straight for that loot, I land on height to survey the area around me. As I do that, I see a team is actually ratting on me. And that's why I rarely get ratted on. Because I always play like that. I actually do get knocked here. Because that guy climbs up with no audio. And then I get shot from afar. Well, my teammates didn't push with me quick enough. It is what it is. This Magi guy, I also assume is a cheater. I've ran into him many times throughout the season. He just plays weird. So they push us, drop down straight on me as soon as I get revived. I can't really help that at all. My teammate gets knocked here. Now we're in a 2v3. Teammate did big damage on the first guy and gets a fat one clip right there. He's not a bad player at all. I'm going to focus his thirst so they don't have to worry about reviving them. And now it's a fair 2v2. I'm calming to my team and I'm playing next to him. I want to chow this because I have an opportunity to right now. My teammate came and backed me up. Very good play for this player right here. You don't see that a lot. I wanted him to go after that gondola and thirst that guy. You'll see that his teammate goes and revives him and they come back and they fucking annoy us the rest of the fight, bro. The rest of the rotate for the next 2 minutes. They just kept following us in zone. Being super annoying. My teammate loses a 1v1, which would have guaranteed that fight right there. It is what it is. He had to win that. But like I said, that's that weird sus player. My teammate gets fried. He can't die. If he dies, we're really fucked. But I go over here so I can revive my teammate. We get the revive off. Again, that team rotates the other way, assumingly. They end up coming back, bro. It was very annoying. Very annoying. They chase us the entire way. I don't know what you're doing. That's some cheater shit. That's what cheaters do. Fucking rotate. What are you doing? I died because I'm not paying attention. Thankfully, my teammate backed me up. Think about girl. I don't have any thoughts about her. It's a random question. So you see, my teammates were lollygagging, but we were getting pushed the entire time by a random team. Not a random team, but that same team in zone. What up, Jurgen? This is an important thing right here. If my teammates were closer to me, we could have gone far left and avoided everything that we had to go through right now. We had to work very hard for this dub. This is a very difficult dub to win. There are Preds in here too. Regardless, I could have rotated far left, but only I would have been safe. My teammates, because of how slow they are right now, they would have been forced to rotate through this tunnel. So instead of going far left, which would have only been fine for me, I decided to go through this tunnel so I could back my team up as well. But again, you have to make assumptions. Because zone is right in train yard, and the tunnel is just right outside of it, you know 100% chance somebody's going to be gatekeeping you from here. That's just how people play the zone. What up, Jex? But I'm waiting. There is a team here, as I knew. But I'm waiting. There's nothing I can do. I'm just waiting for my teammates to push up. But now, because we rotated so gosh damn late, because that dipshit team wanted to push us for whatever reason, we had to fight this. We're forcing a fight now. People always ask me, how do you know when to win or when not to take a fight? Well, obviously, this team is gatekeeping us, and this is the only way we can get into zone. So this is a must fight. It doesn't matter. I don't care what happens. We have to fight this. So I'm getting angles to do some damage while my teammates are pushing up, but I don't cross the invisible line, which is that truck. Especially because I don't have any movement. Cross that invisible line of that truck. I commit to that fight. I'm in the wide open. Probably die. So right here, I process. There's 3 people. I located all 3 of them in that half second right here. There's a guy up here. There's a guy at the lifeline right here. And there's a guy holding that staircase. The lifeline is in the wide open. So in that moment when I reach out, I'm focusing that lifeline because he's got cover and he's got cover. The person out of cover is who I want to focus right here. And I do big damage on her. The ability to process that quickly is difficult for 99.9% of people. But if you want to get good at the game and hit ranks you've never hit before, that's what you have to get good with. So I tell my teammate, because the lifeline's weak, and she's in her ultimate and the other guy is behind this other truck right here, this guy's isolated right here. And if my Revenant can dash in there and force that Revenant out, or at least take that fight with that Revenant, he's got covered. The other teammate's got no LOS on him. So if they do start to swing out and chase that Revenant, I can hold angles on them and hold them off. But they don't do that. So I rotate with him as he distracts from me. I'll get cracked here pretty much, but I have no movement. So you have to play how you have to play. So Rev's up to the left and his other 2 teammates are to the right. We want to all 3 just hold here in these heat shields that my teammate eventually puts down and just try to find an opening for ourselves. He reach outs. I don't know why he reach out. But what I wanted to By cracking him right there, that should have been enough to rotate. He should have just backed up and healed, but he reach out. So now I have to stay here. We get swung from the bottom right by Ash. She's isolated, so I swing her. I don't know why you would do that. That's just how diamonds play. But then now that grants us an ability to rotate. You'll see my teammates play fine this entire game up until the very last second. And that's when most diamonds will eventually crumble. So I'm telling my teammate went to the far right. He needs to get over to us. We have all this ability, all this area to play, and we're all safe here. All three of us need to be over by me, so I'm calming that. There's still a team in tunnel, and Bazzuto is standing right in front of them. He needs to get over to us. He's too far. I don't know why he went over there. You can see the tunnel team shooting up as well over here, so Bazzuto needs to get over to us. We've gotten some big trades. They've gotten some trades, so I push up here. I get a knock on the Octane. We don't want to push him, though. His teammates are just below him over there. And there's another team in tunnel. If we push that right now, we just expose ourselves to everybody holding angles on us. We would have died. So I tell my team we just need to hold here, stabilize, and you'll see my teammate fuck up right now. Actually, no. Before the fuck up, the other team fucks up. You'll see this other team Ashport straight onto us, which is just stupid. Don't do what I just did right there. But now two of them are dead. Two of them are dead. Rev is jumping out that way, so it's just like, alright, just chill out. That team is no longer a threat to us. We could worry about them in a second here. But we really need to take our attention to this other team and try to see what they're doing. Are they pushing us? Are they just sitting still? Regardless, that team is no longer a threat to us. But we do want to get rid of that Rev team. But then my teammate says he has no loot. He's got no heals. This is where this mistake right here is very common for diamond players. Forgetting about what's going on around you. I've calmed for the last 2 minutes that there's a team right here holding angles on us. So again, knowing that, you have to draw an invisible line. By drawing that invisible line, you don't cross that. If you cross it, then you open yourself up to angles to that team. For me, it'd be different than for my teammate on Revenant. I could walk all the way up here and be fine. That's my invisible line because they won't have angles on me. But for my teammate, they have clear angles on him. His invisible line is something right here. He says, I gotta go loot heals on a box that's right in front of him past that invisible line. In doing so, he opens himself up to angles to that team of 3 sitting right there. He dies. Almost throws our game. Essentially does throw our game. I'm gonna loot this body down here. They have entire angles on that. You see where his invisible line is? He couldn't cross that. You could have, if the box is right there, you could have came from the backside on the catwalk over there and looted from here. But again, a lot of diamond players are just absent-minded. They don't think about their positioning relative to other teams' positioning, what angles they might have on him. Him doing that slight move, he needs the loot. He's got nothing. But him just pushing right there throws our game. I even tell him, I need to loot this box. I say, wait. He still does it, and he dies. And now this team aggresses us super hard. I tell my teammate to go and push him just to distract from me. You're probably going to die because he's Newcastle and you'll get fenced up and shocked. But regardless, I can't do what he's doing over there. If we both stay here, we're all dead. So he just needs to go and push that. He gets clipped immediately, but at least it buys me some time. But you see on my teammate's slight mistake, it doesn't seem that big. Oh, I need loot, so I'm going to go loot. But if you're not paying attention to the angles that other people have on you, then you just threw. And that's a stupid fucking thing to do. I don't know how I survive here. This guy ends up getting knocked. He crossed his invisible line to try and kill me. And dies as a result. And I already knocked the other guy, so that's 2 people knocked. And Newcastle's alive, so they're going to reset naturally, but he can't push me. I think it helps conceptualize it a lot, Blank. Then all that invisible line is, it's different in every fight. All that invisible line is a figurative line that doesn't actually exist, but sometimes it might It might take the shape of a wall or a truck or some object, but most of the time not. If you cross that invisible line, you're committing to that fight essentially. You're opening yourself up to angles that the enemy team now has on you. And so you don't want to cross that invisible line ever unless you have the advantage. Maybe you knocked one, maybe you got one super weak. But when you cross that line, you're committing to that fight. My teammate crossed that line to go and loot, unbeknownst to him that now you just committed to that fight. Because that team has angles on you, and now you just... we shouldn't have won this game. But I'm the greatest player of all time, so... So I get out of here. That team reset. I need to position myself somewhere else on this backside of the zone so that I can get to this crafter. I don't want to run straight to that crafter. I want to sit here and gather some information, wait for a knock, listen if I'm being pushed, find out exactly where this team is at, and then I can go and craft, which is what I end up doing. Somebody gets a knock, so that's my time to go and craft. The team on the left here knocked one over there, so they end up porting on them. I don't think it's too obvious. If 99% of people don't understand this, it can't be too obvious. So while they're fighting, I stick this res. There's no other option for me. But for whatever reason, this dipshit Octane team that pissed us off at the beginning of the game, they're still alive. They just come and push me immediately. There's nothing I could do as a Watson here, literally at all. He jumps pad right on me. I'm getting pushed from over there. I'm getting pushed right here. At this point, I'm hoping to get a kill, but I can't. But I do enough damage to him considering how I got pushed. My teammates play it perfectly here, though. He pushes me. He gets ripped. Other guy pushes me over there. He's fine. But it leaves this guy, their third teammate, solo. Both of my teammates jump straight on him and kill him. That's beautiful. At the same time, the person that was way over here pushes them. He dies, but gets a trade on one of my teammates. But my teammates honestly went crazy here. He gets the other knock. And now right here. This is all the information I know to tell my teammates in 1 second here that this is a 1v1v1. That's the solo rev from earlier, I'm assuming, that we never got to. Because he pounced away. We killed both of his teammates. And based on his positioning, that makes sense that he's solo. And usually if it's a 3-stack, you'll hear more footsteps. You'll see more people be aggressive here. But he's only one person. And I assume that because of how he's playing. And remembering what happened earlier. And now that they knocked 2 and the Octane's engaged with him, I let my teammate know. So 1v1v1. My teammate gets a knock on the right. So now all you have to worry about is your top left. But to play super safe here, you don't want to go take a 1v1. You have low ground technically, and he's positioned on high ground. And so to push him right there would be difficult. Revive your teammate. Force him to either push you, and if he doesn't, then you get the revive off. You're baiting that res right now. You don't want to do it here, though, because he has an angle on you. So I tell my teammates, back up to the backside, bro. He's playing scared. He didn't pay attention to who got knocked and how many people are up. He hasn't even shown himself yet. So for all he knows, this is a team of 3 still alive. And so by getting this res behind cover here, that Revan's no longer able to have an angle on him. And it's going to force him to either push. And if he doesn't, you get the revive off. I gotta poop, bruh. He gets an armor swap. The Rev pushes in far too late. A lot of you Diamond players play like this Revenant right here. A lot of you Red players, Masters players, Gold players play like that Rev right there. All that Rev had to do was climb up to the top of that roof, see that one of the guys was knocked and was only one more alive, and go and push in that moment right there. He took no damage by our Ash. So why did it take him 15 seconds to finally push? And that's one thing I'll end this with. For whatever reason, it's a processing thing. People can't process quick enough. If you see that as one person up, that is your moment to push. You can't do anything else but push. But a lot of the times people process so slowly that at the point when they finally decide to push, it's no longer a 1v1. Now it's a 1v2. And now you just lost your game. If you push quicker, if he's assuming that it's a full 1v3, and that's why he didn't push, you're dead either way. If you assume that it's a 1v2 and 2 people are up, you're probably dead either way. No matter what, when you see one guy knocked, even if you don't know if the third person's alive or not, that's just your time to push. That's all the information you would need to go and push this. And then if you did, you would have found out that it was just a 1v1. If it's a 1v2, you're dead. If there's another third here, he's dead. But that's your only opportunity to push. Instead, you push 15 seconds later, and you die as a result. And we win the game. That's my master's game.
Yes! Redemption is necessary.
He played that horribly, but a lot of people don't understand when to push.
That's it. That's got to be 308 at least. That has to be.
Thank you, TL.
Thank God that solo griefed them.
Thank you, TL. I do what I can. Either way, that was a big dub right there. That was my master's game. A fat dub. Teammates played well. Again, the biggest mistake was that Revenant looting that. It never should have been that hard. All we had to do was stay on top. We would have won the game easily. But somehow we still managed to win. So shout out to them for that. Thank you, Wolf. Anyways, I'm going to get off. I got to go poop. I'm going to eat dinner. And I'll be on at 10 o'clock tomorrow. We'll solo queue Bangalore. And I want you guys all here and ready. I'll be live. Probably decently long. Hopefully E-Districts tomorrow. If it's any other map, I'll be pretty pissed. With the daytime changes to E-District, we should see that on day one. But Apex has a bad habit of putting in maps that we just had as day one. You want a new season feel? You put the map that we haven't had for a long time. We have Broken Moon to split, so Broken Moon should not be for day one. We just had Stormpoint for a year straight last season and prior. We don't want to see that. We haven't had E-District in a minute. That's the map that you want, so hopefully tomorrow. Anyways, good night Sonic, good night Arc, good night Wolf, good night Blink, good night Baz. How'd you know it was a 1v1? There was no knock? I just told you there was a knock. My teammates knocked too. And the Octane was by himself. I just went over it. And the Revenant, we already knocked two of his teammates earlier. You make these assumptions. You might not know for 100% certainty that Revenant is solo. But that Revenant is the Revenant that pounced in that direction, towards that direction, after we knocked his... whoever his teammates were, the Ash and Ballistic. We knocked his two teammates. Revenant dipped out that way. I got my kills for it, so they didn't get revived, and he stayed up there the entire time. The other team pushes me. I get the Octane weak. My two teammates that I revived land on top of one. I don't even know who their third was. They kill him. The other guy on my far left pushes up. They kill him. He gets one in return, and then the Octane swings up to the right. They just knocked two, so there's only one Octane left, and that Revenant's by himself. 1v1v1. I didn't need to look at the kill feed for that one to know that. Because my teammates were the one that got that knock. Anyways, I'm going to bed. Or I'm not going to bed, but I'm getting off. I got to go poop. Good night, Sugars. I'll see you guys early morning. Good night, go up. I hope you guys learned something. Take notes. Good night, Body. Good night, Sugars. Good night, Arc. Good night, Jeff. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Doing something different today. I did not want to play Broken Moon today, that's for sure. I wasn't even going to stream, but I figured we could do this. So, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Good night, Jerry. Love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.